everyone, and welcome to the Flat Cap Euro Talk watch along. And it is going to be featuring Liverpool versus AC Milan. It is our first watch along. I'm going to be rocking the Rebic jersey, the Rebic kit from Shamu, from courtesy of Shamu. Absolute legend there. Let's pull up the lineups for the upcoming game. Hopefully, you can see that all right, everyone. We do have Alisson starting in goal for Liverpool. We have Trent, obviously, on the right. Matip and Joe Gomez starting as well. Alexander Robinson or Andy Robinson there. Hendo, Jordan Henderson in the midfield with Fabinho. Naby Keita making a start here. Very interesting. And then Mo Salah, Diego Jota, and Divock Origi with the surprise start for Liverpool. We'll see how Divock does. And then we do have the main man leading the front, Ante Rebic, the absolute beast there is. Rafael Leao, very, very big player there. I would definitely keep an eye out on him on the left-hand side. Brahim Diaz, new player coming in, the new number 10 for AC Milan as well, playing in centrally. Salamakers, who's actually quite talented player. I believe he's a Belgian international. Do correct me if I'm wrong there. Decent player there on the right. Benacer, who plenty of people have rated, especially at Football Daily, I imagine, as a very good player. Ismail Benacer. Frank Kessié, the Tottenham player, or the player that's been rumored with Tottenham plenty of times. Hopefully we see a good game from him. I love him. He's absolute swagger on the pitch, especially with the short socks and the short shin pads as well. Simon Kjær will be in the back line alongside Fikayo Tomori. Tomori obviously did just sign, I think, permanently from Chelsea for AC Milan. Theo Hernandez, the left back, who I think is easily one of the best left backs in the world, maybe alongside Alphonso Davies there. Davide Calabria, another very fantastic fullback on the right, the Italian international. Mike Maignan at goal right there. So there it is, everybody. That is the lineup. Do let me know what you think of this lineup. But let's at first, maybe let's welcome in a bit of the Harris Army first, because we do have Catman Jess joining us. Catman, I do hope you're holding all right. I do hope you're keeping well. It's good to have you, as well as Para Miguel Escoberto, absolute legends, both of you, absolute legends. Disabled Team, he says, hi, David and Jack. David, you were fantastic on Joe's show, by the way. Don't you worry. David will be joining us shortly. He's just been pulling, multiple streams after multiple streams. I'm sure you know how it is, and he will be joining me very shortly. But moving on to Shamu. Shamu says, no Ibra, rip, might just watch Leipzig instead. Yeah, to be honest, it is kind of a bit of disappointment to see maybe Ibra be left out. But to be honest, Shamu, I just want to see some Liverpool fans be disappointed. I'd like to see maybe a similar outcome to what Man United fans witnessed yesterday. I'd like to see something a bit similar. But that's just me, Shamu. Maybe you can keep this screen off to the right while you're watching that Leipzig game. And then he says, hi, Jack. Hope you're well. I do hope you're well as well. Disabled Team, do hope you're keeping well. Thank you for joining us as well, everybody. Really do appreciate it. It's just a sit back, relax, kind of watch along time. And then as well as Shamu saying, Rebic, get in, Jack. Absolutely, Shamu. Absolutely, Shamu. But everybody, while we're kind of waiting for David to jump on in here, I am going to kind of bring up this lineup again and just talk about it. It is going to be a 4-2-3-1 against a 4-3-3. I do find, though, that maybe the Fabinho, Jordan Henderson, Naby Keita kind of midfield is maybe a bit, I wouldn't say negative, but it is a bit interesting considering Naby Keita, I don't believe, has featured too much this season so far, but I do think a lot of Liverpool fans want him to be featuring more this season. I think they have been liking him to be seeing more this season as well. So hopefully that, could work out for them. I don't want them to win at all, Liverpool, but I will say if that were to be a midfield system that works for them, it'd be quite interesting, but it might be more of a negative setup, you might say, for Liverpool's system, but obviously nowhere near as negative as we saw from Tottenham before, but a bit of a negative setup, you might say. And then in the case of Milan there, you have Frank Kessié and Ismail Benacer, who I really do think you should keep an eye out, especially Ismail Benacer, absolute class center defensive mid pairing there. Really do rate both of them. They're great distributors, great tempo setters, just know how to dictate the game. And then as well, we do have Brahim Diaz, the brand new kind of starlet in the midfield. They're replacing maybe the Çalhanoğlu role from last season. So definitely like to see if Brahim Diaz can maybe step up for Milan. Ante Rebic and Rafael Leao, I probably would say, are maybe the two most likely to maybe be scoring for Milan here. And then as well, their defense is actually quite solid. And Theo Hernandez, Fikayo Tomori, Simon Kjær, and Davide Calabria, I will say, especially that back line is just quite impressive, along with the new Mike Maignan goalkeeper. Very, very impressive, I would say, especially, considering that Milan maybe in years past, obviously, had been kind of falling off the pedestal in terms of their historic heights. Definitely could say now, like, Milan are definitely a much more complete side, an absolutely much more complete side. Kickoff should be in just a minute or two here. Looking at Mo Salah at the moment, just kind of staring up at the crowds, getting ready for the Champions League music. But I do hope everyone is well for this game. Hope you're sitting back and relaxing. Maybe let me know which one you might prefer to win this game. Personally, I'd like to see a Milan upset, if you ask me. But that's just how I feel about it. But Paro Miguel Escoberto saying Jack is finally here. Sorry, Paro. Sorry to disappoint you. Sorry to keep you waiting. And also as well, really do appreciate it. The Flat Cap Army and the Harris Army is present. And really do appreciate you guys for tuning in for this one. It's just going to be a kind of casual watch along until David joins me very soon. For this, we're just going to be kind of looking at Milan, talking about Milan, maybe just thinking about how they can best exploit Liverpool. To be honest, it's going to be a bit of a biased stream in that case. I will say, we do definitely want a good result from AC Milan. Looks like the referee is Szymon Marciniak, which is a very interesting Polish name. Looks to be mostly Polish referees, apart from maybe a German VAR referee. They are flipping the coin between Davide Calabria and Jordan Henderson. But do let me know, guys, what your score predictions will be for this one. I am going to go maybe for a very optimistic. I'm going to go for maybe a 2-1 win for AC Milan here. I could see maybe Liverpool faltering, but Liverpool have been immense this season, and I do actually have them as my runners-up in the Premier League this season. But do let me know how you see this game turning out. Disabled Team saying AC Milan, as a Leeds fan, I have lost all respect I had for Klopp. Definitely the Disabled Team. Definitely love to see that you're with AC Milan just like me. So do appreciate that. And he's going for a 2-1 win as well for AC Milan. Absolutely love it. I'm complete agreement. But without further ado, guys, I do see Divock Origi. He's kind of just kind of patrolling around. It's at Anfield tonight as well. It is a home game for Liverpool. Champions League nights at Anfield are very tough. This is also a repeat of that 2005 final, everybody, by the way. And David, if it's all right if I bring you in here, David is going to be joining us. How you doing, David?
All good. Thanks very much for inviting me on the very first watch along. On the Flat Cap Euro Talk. Good to see Catman Jess, Paro Miguel Escobardo, and the Disabled Team, and Shamu, of course. Good to see you all. Look, of course, we hope that Liverpool emphasize capital VAR. Hope that they do, take a loss here tonight. I'd love nothing better to see them kick off the Champions League campaign with a defeat. Look, I do think it'll be a very good game. I was looking at the Milan backline there. Look, there no mugs. Theo Hernandez is a good player. Tomori on his day can be good. Simon Kjaer, I think he's very good. In midfield battle will be very interesting with Benacer. I think it is in there. Yep. And Kessie, be very interesting in midfield battle there because Kessie has plenty of energy about him. So he should match Liverpool's energy in midfield. And then it's up. Look, I actually rate Rafael Leo, to be honest with you.
Me too.
Decent player. I think he could cause them problems here today. Salamakers on the other side. I'll be honest, I don't know much about him. Who's starting up top, Jack?
It's going to be it's Ante Rebic, the main man himself. The one that just put on my back here. I'm wearing him on my back right now, thanks to Shamu, David.
No, one of Jack's favorite players, I have to say. Look, I like using him in FIFA too. He's very good in FIFA. I like using him in FIFA too. No, he's good. He's got a good shot on him. He's a good finisher, so he can definitely cause problems. And Brahim Diaz, correct me if I'm wrong, but did he not come through the Liverpool ranks at some stage? Maybe
you might be right there, David. You might be right there. And I'm even, was he originally? I'm actually kind of blanking where even his original Portuguese club was, where he came originally as well. I am forgetting, but Brahim Diaz is supposedly going to be replacing kind of Çalhanoğlu as kind of that new creative number 10 in the middle there. And a lot of people really do rate him. He's supposed to be a huge talent, David, but I will admit, of all the big talents in Serie A, he's not maybe one I'm maybe most familiar with, I will admit, but I definitely will maybe improve my scouting ability on Brahim Diaz. But we are off, everybody. We're, at least personally, me, probably a bit behind everybody else, but I am a minute and 35 seconds in right now. And it is Liverpool with the ball right now. Andy Robertson whipping it in here with Ante Rebic clearing it, or Theo Hernandez clearing it out. Very interesting attack, I would say, from Liverpool coming down the left-hand side there. Divock Origi with a pretty atrocious touch where I thought it was going to go out of bounds, but clearly they kept it in there. Corner for Liverpool. And I do believe it's going to be Trent whipping this in.
Yeah, no, look, they do have some big boys there. Fabinho, Van Dijk, so they do have some big boys to go and attack this. But AC Milan deal with it comfortably enough, thank God for that. But look, hopefully Liverpool will be the only team walking alone tonight, alone in defeat, alone in despair, and that's what we hope. Yeah,
Big up Jerry. Jerry's in the comments saying, let's go. Hashtag Flat Cap Army. Hashtag StatMemJack. Hashtag electric content as well. Really do appreciate that, Jerry. You're an absolute legend. We do appreciate you. We appreciate everybody for sitting back and enjoying this with us. To be honest, Dave and I were going to be watching this together anyway, so we figured, we put this on Flat Cap Euro Talk so that you guys can maybe sit back and relax and watch it with us. It's really not going to be maybe the most informed Liverpool content or AC Milan content. But if you are kind of a bit of a neutral, all I would say is definitely recommend it to your friends that just want to watch maybe a neutral watch along. But it is a very dangerous attack. Again, going down the left-hand side for Liverpool, Divock Origi seems to be all over them. And surprisingly, Divock Origi has been all over them, I will say. Never really rated him as a player. But everything seems to be going down Liverpool's left-hand side at the moment.
Yeah, look, they're very dangerous down that side, to be fair to them. Robertson provides good overlaps with Mane as well. I don't think Mane is playing today, though, is he? No,
I don't see him, David. No. It is going to be Diego Jota, Divock Origi, and Mo Salah.
Yeah. Look, Divock Origi. Look, I'll give it to him. For what little he does play with Liverpool, he tends to pop up with important goals, whether it be the Merseyside Derby or the Champions League final. But look, I absolutely hate him, Jack. I actually think he's useless. I think he's absolutely useless. I really hate him as a footballer. But look, in fairness, anytime he's called upon in some of the big games, he seems to be Jurgen Klopp's go-to sometimes, and he does seem to get the goal.
He is.
I just want to that comment from the disabled team there, Jack. He says, "Hi, David. You are fantastic. You have to be a regular on Joe's show." Ollie Shoeshiner, I laughed so much I almost fell off my wheelchair. Yeah, look, no, my man, I really appreciate that, man. Look, I've told Joe I'll be on it as regular as I can. We're pumping out stuff on the Irish Hotspur, pumping out stuff here on the Flat Cap Euro Talk. And, we're booked in for other channels as well. But Joe knows I'm committed. Anytime he needs me and I'm available, I will always be there. And look, what I'd say is tune in here. Tune into the Irish Hotspur as well, my man, because there's plenty more. I have nicknames for half the Premier League, believe me, my man. And guys, just everyone that is watching, Adam's in the building as well. Big up, Adam. Make sure you do smash that like button, guys. Make sure if there's anyone new tuning in, to make sure you smash the subscribe button. And like I said, look, start sharing it with friends, family, people on your social media platforms. Get the word out about the Flat Cap Euro Talk, guys, and get them in here to support Jack and myself. On this absolutely fantastic channel. Jack is dropping banger after banger of the videos, and more people need to see them.
Thank you, David. Really do appreciate it. I mean, I've loved the start. I've loved how we kicked off the second channel so far. I think we've absolutely taken it in stride, but we do appreciate, believe me, the support from people like Adam, especially Paro Miguel Escobardo, absolute legend. Catman Jess, of course, absolute legend as well with the support. Shamu, he's only going to support, the Harris Army and the Flat Cap Army till he dies. And honestly, it's been very heartwarming, David, to see how much people have supported during this time. And it's honestly wonderful to see people even want to join us for a watch along like this, considering, a very good chance there for Ante Rebic. Ball in behind from Teo Hernandez, might have been a tad offside. But I will say that's good to see Milan at least have a decent chance there, because they've been under the cosh from Liverpool to start with, especially, again, I'll say it again, down that left-hand side with Andy Robertson. They're seemingly getting a lot of freedom there.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, Milan came down at Alexander Arnold's side. And when I watched Liverpool against Leeds, that's where Leeds were getting their most joy as well. For as good as Alexander Arnold is going forward, defensively, he can definitely be found wanting. And just like they've done there, with them balls in behind, with Rebic and his pace, always willing to make them runs in beyond Virgil van Dijk and that, I do think, AC Milan can cause them problems here today.
No, I really do. And especially last season, David, like I said this before, and maybe, a few Man United fans might not be happy that I'm saying this, but I really thought AC Milan deserved that win against in their Europa League fixture against Man United, especially that goal that Frank Kessié had taken away from him. I thought was absolutely just horrible to see, because considering, I don't even think there was a handball in it. And David, if you remember, he had that half volley banger that he scored against Man United in the Europa League. That got taken away from them very luckily for Man United. A bit of a turnover here. Wow, that was very dangerous, I will say. AC Milan, we'll see how they warm up into the game. We're only 7 minutes in. Actually, in fact, we are 7 minutes and around 10 seconds in case everybody wants to sync up. But they do seem to be losing it in certain bad positions here. Milan. Teo Hernandez lost it to Divock Origi. Divock Origi played a pretty poor ball inside the box, and Simon Kjær was able to clear it away. But I will say Liverpool are very dangerous.
Interesting enough, AC Milan look like they don't want to be going long ball or giving the ball straight back to Liverpool. They look like they are going to try and keep it at all costs. Oh, good save from what's his name, Joe Matip from the corner kick. Good save there. But look, interestingly enough, AC Milan, they don't look like they want to be giving the ball back to Liverpool in any sort of hurry. They are trying to play out from the back and keep off at all costs. It could end up being that they might end up playing themselves into a bit of trouble tonight. But we'll wait and see. Looking at Liverpool, I think Jurgen Klopp might have expected this, Jack, because Liverpool are pressing them very, very high in a lot of numbers there. I think I nearly seen 7 or 8 there pressing Milan's midfield and back line there. So it make for a very interesting game, that's for sure.
Great observation, David. Fantastic observation. It does look like Milan are trying to break through their press by playing through them, but clearly they are struggling because considering they did just play it out of bounds as well.
Oh, good defending. Tomori. Jack, where's that big guy that they had in midfield against United? That guy is like 6 foot odd, nearly 7 foot. Is it Coop Miners? No?
Oh, I don't believe it's a Coop Miners, Dave, but for Milan, who was it? Sandro Tonali, who I will say and it's a goal for Liverpool from Trent Alexander-Arnold. A very, very, very unrealistic deflection there. Honestly, quite lucky, I will say. Horrible deflection into the goal. Very lucky, but Liverpool have been absolutely all over them. This is starting to look pretty bad. We might even have to switch streams to, a different game, David, if this, gets out of hand, maybe even switch to that Leipzig game like everyone is saying. But again, Liverpool did just score a deflection off Fikayo Tomori or maybe Frank Kessie. I'm not sure. But as well, the AC Milan players are even arguing amongst themselves. They do not seem like they're well organized, David.
No, they don't. Look, I think it's the possession. I think they must have been working on something during the week possession-wise, and it just looks like it's not paying off. Liverpool are just picking their pocket. There's definitely something during the week. I think it must have worked perfectly, but there's definitely a cog in the wheel here at the minute, and something's not going right. And I think they might already have to change tactics, Jack.
No, they might already have to change tactics, and you're absolutely right. But, Jerry, I went for a 2-1 win for AC Milan. Very hopefully went for a 2-1 win. I probably could still see the scoreline being 2-1, but, yeah, Liverpool have already got that one goal that I said they would get. So it is a bit concerning. Yeah, Liverpool have been all over them here. Champions League nights at Anfield, like I said, David, it is a repeat of that final from years past. Maybe really just the atmosphere and everything. They might just be totally up for this one, and maybe just AC Milan are just a bit intimidated to begin with. Yeah,
I think they are. Look, Anfield's on a Champions League night with the crowd behind them, with how loud they are, how raucous it can get. They do always look to capitalise on it and start fast. They've done it to Barcelona here in the knockouts the year they ended up, so for me, look, I think with Liverpool at Anfield, especially in the Champions League, I think you have to hang in there for the first 45, and then the crowd start to get a bit jittery, and then you can get at them. Look, let's hope that AC Milan can find a quick equaliser, but they attack here. Play him. Oh, you greedy man.
Rafael Leao here, cuts inside.
Kessie.
And it's well won by Joel Matip.
That's good defending, to be fair.
I do rate Joel Matip, I will say. As much as I've always rated him as a defender.
AC Milan keeper way off his line there a minute ago. The chip was really on.
Now they're just recycling the ball midfield with Jordan Henderson and Fabinho here. Naby Keita on the ball. I really do hope AC Milan do get back into this one. I think that was a great observation, though, David. It does seem like maybe they've been trying to play through this press. Maybe even Milan's style this season has been a bit more possession-based. I'm not sure. I haven't been able to watch enough of Milan so far this season to know, but it does seem like, Liverpool have really done a good scouting report on them, David.
They have. They're just pressing the living crap out of them and turning the ball over. And then Liverpool, it's not even that they're breaking on them quick, Jack. They're just recycling it into space every time. And that's where the chances seem to be coming from. With AC Milan, I've noticed looking at Liverpool very, very quickly as soon as they turn the ball over. But I just fear maybe for the next 5-10 minutes, I would like to see them get on the ball and recycle possession and just get a bit of possession. Get your foot on the ball, get a bit confident and take it from there. Because right now, even though they are trying to get at Liverpool very, very quickly, you know, Matip or Van Dijk seem to be stopping it really. And they're just getting Liverpool on the attack straight away from that. So I would like to see them maybe settle on the game and recycle the ball.
Yeah. And again, now someone for AC Milan is receiving a yellow card. Looks like Ismail Benacer might be receiving here. It was a shot, a half volley from Andy Robertson here. Oh, and it went off the hand of Ismail Benacer. Did they give a penalty for it?
They better not. Look, I don't know. It's a bit similar to the Ben Davies one, looking at it from that angle. Looking at it from the angle behind, it did look maybe like it'd be a bit harsh, but looking at it from the second angle, his arm was definitely out. Let's give him the penalty, you know.
This is not starting off well for Milan. I will say it might have to be the opposite scoreline of what I predicted. That where it might be a 2-1 might be a 2-1 for Liverpool here.
Liverpool, especially emphasising the VAR. I'm absolutely sick of it. Every single time they get these decisions, no other club gets as many as they do. You know, all my Liverpool fans say you're just bitter, or all my Liverpool friends, you know, that are fans say you're bitter, you're this, you're that. It's not. It's just the truth. My eyes don't lie to me. I keep saying this, but every time I see it with these guys, Mo Salah,
and it's a save from Mike Mannion.
Come on! Still in it.
Oh, what a save from Mike Mannion. Salah, he basically tried to go through the middle with a bit of power. He's actually known for doing that, I will say. He's definitely known for doing that. I think David just had a bit of a choppy connection, guys, so he's going to be coming right back in. But guys, Salah went for that down the middle strike that I think he's very well known for. He seems to do that a lot, and Mike Mannion seemed to dive the other way, was still able to save it, though, very cleverly, I will admit. As well, though, it's good to see them stay in it. And maybe this might be that bit of motivation that Milan need in order to bounce back from this very, very, very poor start. But Mike Mannion, the new signing from Lille, with a fantastic save to keep them in the game. And now he's trying to distribute it to Leao a bit far, bit route one, but did not work out, unfortunately. But again, it is actually 1-0. Let me change that, everybody. It is 1-0. Anybody that is tuning in, it is 1-0 to Liverpool at the moment. We are going to also have David come back in, I believe, just a moment. But it is 1-0 to Liverpool. It could have been 2-0, though, after that save from Mike Mannion. So very, very good to see AC Milan stay in this year. Fantastic tackle from Fikayo Tomori. Sorry, that was just a replay from before. But yes, again, guys, it's been a bit kind of hectic to watch here, I will admit. It's been kind of a bit hectic to watch. Absolutely, Liverpool have been all over AC Milan. Jurgen Klopp doesn't seem to be too bothered. Seems to be quite relaxed from the sidelines. I will say, anybody that is a Liverpool fan, what do you think of maybe the new Jurgen Klopp look? Jurgen Klopp without the glasses, without the specs this season. Personally, I'm not a big fan of it. I kind of think he looks a bit funny without the goggles that he used to wear. So I will say maybe if Jurgen could go back to that old look, I probably would prefer it. And I know he definitely is waiting on my opinion in that regard. But now Brahim Diaz in the middle tries to play outside to Leao. Leao here kind of ignoring Rebic, plays a horrible ball into the box. I will say that was a bit selfish maybe from Leao. Maybe he thought Rebic was offsides. I'm not sure. But a foul given maybe by the referee. I'm actually not sure here. Foul given by the referee on Divock Origi from Simon Kjær. It is a bit physical there, I will admit. Simon Kjær, the very, very disciplined Danish defender who did fantastic against Lukaku in the Euros in that Danish battle with them. So definitely a very good defender, Simon Kjær. He definitely can take on the physical battles quite well. All right, David.
Yeah, I just had to change my name from the Irish Hotspur to Davide Harris Insigne. So I hope people like it. I have to go with the team here, Jack. I have the missus. She has pasta on right now. Getting the pizza in the oven as well. So, come on. I'm absolutely delighted with that penalty save. I'm absolutely delighted. I'm sick of Liverpool. I'm sick of them.
I will say, David, hopefully you can save some pasta for Mike Maignan, because if he's able to keep them in this game so that AC Milan could come back, I do think you might have to save a plate for Mike Maignan, hopefully for that spaghetti that he will be eating later from the misses. But AC Milan again.
How is he getting on for AC Milan, Jack, since he replaced Donnarumma? So and a lot of Spurs fans were looking at this guy to maybe replace Hugo Lloris long term. So how has he been getting on since he signed?
I do think he started off quite well. I don't think AC Milan I haven't seen them really slip up too much in the Serie A, unless I'm mistaken. But I do think they've started off the Serie A quite strong. Obviously, I think Serie A is only 3 games in, while the rest of the league is 4. So you can't make too many conclusions. They did have a fantastic win against Lazio recently, AC Milan. And I do believe that was a clean sheet that they got from it. And Lazio, David, are actually the best attacking team in Serie A at the moment. They do have the most goals. So AC Milan were actually able to keep a clean sheet against, the Maurizio Sarri ball team. So does maybe say a lot about their defense. I will say their defense has not started off strong by any means, but supposedly their defense is actually quite strong. And when you do look at it on paper, it is a very, very strong defensive midfield and a very, very, very strong back four. So I will say hopefully they can improve here. Hopefully they can maybe handle this pressure from Liverpool a bit more comfortably. But I will say Milan have definitely been maybe a more defensively sound team than in years past, David.
I definitely agree with that. But as well, another player looking at him is Frank Kessie. Rumors this week, I'll be honest with you, I don't believe them, that, Paratici is working on offering him a contract from Milan. But apparently looking to get the deal done in January with AC Milan. And I'll be honest with you, look, even though AC Milan are losing right now, I actually think he's been very good in midfield going forward and defensively. He's a good box-to-box midfielder.
He is, David. And also with Frank Kessie, he has actually been at the club for a very long time from Milan. And he is actually a bit of I do believe he's well loved by the fans. I do think he is kind of a loyal player to them, despite him maybe not want to continue his contract. I do think he's actually been quite loyal to the club, especially during maybe some poor years at Milan. He didn't actually leave, you will say. So that is credit, I will say, to Frank Kessie. So he's a bit of a leader, David. Definitely has a bit of loyalty. Wins a fantastic interception in the midfield there. And look at him bombing forward. Hopefully they could have saw him there. That's a horrible pass. That's a horrible pass by Salamakers.
Jack, he's like the speed of the guy. Absolutely love it.
Definitely, David. Definitely, David.
What is going on with this Milan team? That manager must be pulling his hair out. What are they doing?
He's had none left, Dave. He's probably going to have to go to the beard now to maybe pull some hairs out.
Was this guy manager of Roma before, Jack? He looks familiar.
To be honest, David, my Italian manager expertise is not strong. I will say I'm actually not sure. Hopefully maybe the Harris Army or the Flat Cap Army can maybe inform me on this. Paro Miguel Escobardo saying Ajax leading 2-0 with Haller with a brace. That's good to see. And it's good to see that maybe Ajax remembered to keep Haller in their Champions League squad this time compared to last season in the Europa League. Do remember that Ajax actually omitted or forgot to include some of their players in the Europa League squad. Maybe a bit too much of an Amsterdam's night out before they did the squad selection, David, or the squad submissions, but I'm not sure. Clearly this time they went to bed early, submitted the squad early, so good for the squad manager there. But Paro Miguel, thank you for the update. And then Adam sent me liking the name, David.
No, I appreciate it, my man. I appreciate it. Look, I have to say, give credit to Jack. He told me, change the name, give yourself an into it. So that's exactly what I done. Just in terms of Ajax, look, Ajax, they just keep producing the players.
Good to see you.
And look, I'm going to have to take a leaf out of this manager's book, as well as I know in FIFA, Jack. Not being up front for Ajax is detrimental. A much better team with the problem of Haller in there than not in there. Isn't that right, Jack?
No, definitely. I will say, even you, David, one time you tried to, leave out, Sebastian Haller when playing with Ajax and FIFA. And, that was the one time I think I even beat you, with with your Ajax team. So clearly, the Aller is more of a crucial member of that Ajax team than maybe some would like to give him credit for. Derek Hutchinson, though, says big up, David. And he did say big up, Jack, as well. So really do appreciate Derek Hutchinson for tuning in. True legend of the Harris Army, true legend of the Flat Cap Army as well. And then the Sable team saying, I don't want to jinx AC Milan keeper. He looks really decent, reads the game really well. Yeah, and he also looks very springy. He looks like he actually has a bit of really good lateral movement, I would say, the keeper as well. He looks very aggressive, too, in his distribution. Looks like he's trying to, maybe attempt dangerous passes, passes that might open up the game, maybe a bit similar to like an Ederson or a Neuer. But definitely Milan, I will say, are going for a very, very, very direct kind of approach and way that they'll play. They are trying to go for nice passing patterns, but it's also been very risky for them, and Liverpool have punished them.
Where was he trying to play that? Honestly, there was nobody there. What was that AC Milan player doing? And now it gives this stupid man.
Tomori, oh my gosh, absolutely sending Divock into the stands. He sent David, sometimes, certain games, right? You get a ball into the stands as a souvenir. You never thought you would get a player, as a souvenir to take home with you.
No, look, it's as close as Divock Origi will get to having fans touching him. He's not many of Liverpool fans are fans to see that. You know me, Jack, I'm a big fan of aggression in football. I'd like to keep it a contact sport for as long as possible. And, I'd love to see Tomori absolutely bury him. You can't beat that.
Oh, David, that's what I don't even know. Divock, I think he was just showing him where actually the Anfield weight room is, David. He was just showing him where the training room is. He says it's actually down the tunnel over there, Divock, in case you missed it, because clearly Tomori was actually hitting the weight room before Divock was this game. So I think that's all it was, David. He was just showing him where the weight room was.
He completely done Origi there. And, Origi may as well be sitting in the stands eating a pie with one of the fans, to be honest with you, Jack. I absolutely love to see it. The guy is a donkey. Great tackle by AC Milan here in midfield, and can they break? No.
They're just really, David, it's
every time
it's breaking that midfield, getting it out of their own half just really seems to be a struggle for them at the moment. And you would find that is maybe similar. I mean, Barcelona yesterday, David, absolutely maybe similar to them. They could not find a way out of their own half at times against Bayern. So maybe it might be a bit similar. Of course, Jurgen Klopp comes from that German school of thought, which is the very dominating high press kind of style. And the Champions League, I will say, it is very intimidating to play that style where every pass is taken away. The team is totally high up the pitch, even inside their own half as well. It is very intimidating to play against. But I would say the one way to break it, David, always that type of really high press that the German coaches like. It's just simply having one person that is sitting with that defender and having one player that can play those balls in behind and just release him and maybe expose them on maybe the 2-on-3s, 1-on-2 kind of situations, because that is always going to be the case when Liverpool and teams like Liverpool and Bayern press too high. They can be exposed with maybe a ball over the top.
100%. I fully agree with that. Look, I think is Tonali on the bench, Jack?
He is on the bench. And Shamu, I forgot to tell you that, by the way, your boy Sandro Tonali is going to be on the bench this one. Hopefully he does come in maybe into the center back or center defensive mid position. I would think, though, Tonali, you would think, David, maybe if actually Milan equalize here in this game and they maybe keep it to 70th minute, 80th minute, and they're just trying to shut up shop, that's when I see maybe Tonali coming into the game. Ismail Benacer and Frank Kessié are probably a bit more the creative kind of center defensive midfielders in their team, where Tonali, as much of a baller as he is definitely a bit more, of a destroyer, I would say, in the midfield. But he is actually a fantastic distributor as well. They're just amazing center defensive mids, I will admit. AC Milan, they have a lot to choose from.
For me, look, with Tonali, Jack, I actually think he should be starting in beside Kessié. I think it'd be the perfect partnership, to be honest with you. Look, with Tonali, on the ball, a great distributor on the ball, and I'm actually a really big fan of him. I really like him, and for me, I actually think they're missing a trick not playing him today, because he's the sort of player that can get on the ball and keep the ball for AC Milan. I think that's what they're missing right now. I actually think they're missing a trick here today.
They could definitely be missing it. They could definitely be missing Tonali's skill. I'm trying to remember. It might have been Spezia. I think it was actually Balotelli's team. When Balotelli was briefly in the Serie A recently, I think Tonali was playing for the same team. Might have been Spezia. It's hard for me to remember. But
Sassuolo? No,
I don't think it was Sassuolo. It is hard to remember. But Tonali, whichever team he was bought from, I think was a relegated Serie A side. And that season with that relegated Serie A side, was his big breakout season that everybody seemed to have caught fire to him. And the reason why was because he was practically the best midfielder in the Italian league alone that season. Everybody wanted him, everybody from Juventus to Inter to AC to Napoli, but he decided to go with AC Milan, the very classy outfit. But I'm actually quite proud of him for that, I will say, especially that choosing maybe AC Milan over the likes of Juventus and such. But I would like to maybe see him feature as well, David. But Ismail Benacer simultaneously the season before actually had a fantastic season with Milan. And lots of people did rate Ismail Benacer's recent season and thinking he was actually one of the best midfielders in the Italian Serie A that season. So I really do think, David, they just have a plethora of fantastic midfielders to choose from AC Milan. Despite how poor they've been this match, there definitely is plenty of quality in the side. I do think it's probably just the Jurgen Klopp tactics that are maybe slightly getting to them here. They are quite difficult to play against, especially the Serie A, David. You know, this type of high press is not common in the Serie A, probably never even found very much in the Serie A. So they probably just been struggling with it, probably not used to it, you might say, but hopefully they can maybe figure it out soon. And a ball here from Leao to Salamakers. It was a good idea there. Salamakers he plays it up top to Brahim Diaz. Brahim Diaz at the top of the 18, plays Rebic. Rebic deflection, goes to Leao, ball across the 6. Decent chance there, we'll say, for AC Milan. Good play there. They're now actually starting to dictate the tempo a bit more, to get into the game a bit more now.
Where's Zlatan? Where's the big boy?
He supposedly has more ACL or kind of a knee ligament kind of injuries, David. I do believe he was coming off of some sort of surgery as well, coming back into the season. And I think after that recent game against Lazio where he did score, apparently I think he did maybe tweak the knee a little bit. I don't think it's anything serious by any means, but I do think his knee issues are still causing him trouble.
Interesting. And what about Calhanoglu?
Calhanoglu has moved to Inter Milan, David.
Oh, has he?
Yes, he has. I think. Oh, and a shot from Mo Salah at Mike Maignan. That was very, very dangerous. Mo Salah with a very quick snap fire shot towards the top left-hand corner. Actually, a fantastic hit, I will say, by Mo Salah. Great technique. Mike Maignan, though, clearly keeping them in this game. Shamu saying 2-0 to Man City to begin with. Shamu, let me know who the goal scorers are for Man City. Again, if they're already 2-0 up, Jesse Marsch is in absolute trouble right now. I will say, the American coach for the Leipzig team, he has not started off well. I even gave him a bit of hope and optimism, thinking that he would actually turn around maybe his slow start in the Bundesliga in the Champions League, considering that RB Salzburg last season actually did have a very solid group stage performance. Where I think even Bayern were in their group in group stages, and I believe they defeated Bayern one game or gave them, I think, a draw or something where they dropped points. So definitely RB Salzburg, I will say, with Jesse Marsch last season were very, very interesting team to watch, very good team to watch. But so far this season with Leipzig, Jesse Marsch has taken over at Leipzig, taken over Julian Nagelsmann's former job, and has not started well. He's actually started maybe the worst you maybe could think, a Leipzig coach could start. So I might say, David, he actually might be the American, might actually have his dreams and his career path maybe humbled, quite quickly, despite maybe him. Ooh, very scary there from Naby Keita. But just to finish that quickly, David, Jesse Marsch, the American coach, very up-and-coming coach. He's actually not doing so well now that he's been kind of getting that big call-up to a much bigger job, much bigger expectations. He's not handling it well.
The next Michael, the the American guy, the baldy guy, he used to, play in Germany, and then I think he got a job in Germany after a while as well, the American guy. Mm-hmm. Look, I don't know much about this Marsch guy, to be honest with you, Jack. All I do know is a shark. But look, it's a big step up for him. Look, at the end of the day, Leipzig, I do think that they will stick with him. I think they stick with their coaches. They'll give them time to work it out.
Mm. You think so, but it is the Red Bull sport, David. It is Red Bull. They actually probably might be a very tough, maybe results-driven kind of organization. I'm not sure. I don't think they've actually ever had trouble like this. Leipzig, of course, made that very historic rise, obviously a bit of a cheating kind of rise, you might say, from nothing to the heights they are now. But, they did start with Ralph Hasenhüttl as their coach, and Ralph Hasenhüttl brought them very, very far. And then from there, Julian Nagelsmann took over, definitely took them a lot further as well. Julian Nagelsmann, but maybe that's all I might be saying is Jesse Marsch seems to be a bit of a step back for Leipzig, and Mike Maignan with maybe the touch of I'm not even sure what there. Mike Maignan is supposed to be able to keep it in there. He just has absolute touch of a donkey.
Touch of a Gylfi. That's what he has. Touch of a Gylfi, 100%. No, that's shocking. That's absolutely shocking. No, look, I don't know what this AC Milan manager has to do, but if he gets this in, 32 minutes in, but if he gets this to 45 minutes, halftime, 1-0, I think they've done very well, to be honest with you. Because
considering how awful they've been.
Yeah. Just well cutting them open that way. Are causing a lot of their own problems as well, Jack. A lot of sloppy passes. When they do get beyond the Liverpool midfield, it's a lot of sloppy passes into Rebic, a lot of sloppy passes out wide, and they're just giving the ball straight back to Liverpool. So,
Sean Snow saying Leipzig didn't cheat; they have creative bookkeeping. Yeah, definitely, Sean. They definitely have a bit of creative bookkeeping. If that creative bookkeeping you mean in Germany, they have that 50+1 rule in terms of fan representation. And if you did know, Sean, I'm pretty sure you do. But the majority of those fans in that 50+1 actually do work for Red Bull in Leipzig. So there is a bit of I would say, a bias there. And in fact, it's I think it's the only German club that's really taken advantage of maybe that rule, or maybe found a bit of a flaw in that rule that's actually supposed to keep the game a bit more fair, a bit more representative of the fans. Leipzig have actually been the club that actually found a way around that as well. Even plenty of people in Leipzig do not support Leipzig. From my knowledge, especially when I visited there as a student, I did know that a lot of the fans there do not really appreciate maybe the takeover of the club, but simultaneously a lot of young Leipzigers did actually like the club, because who knows, who likes to, everybody likes to have a successful club in their city, David. So it is a kind of a bit torn over there in Germany, but that's what I kind of meant by that, Sean. They had a very sneaky way of getting around the 50+1 rule.
Yeah, no. Look, it's like City fans, the only ones that have at the minute is the old school City fans, where they followed them down in Division 2, or a lot of the young ones now who are just supporting a team because they win absolutely everything and have in the oil industry so that they can fund it as well. Let's welcome in Jacko, Mr. Edwardson. Big yourself up, what a legend. Philip Brady's in the house, and Spurs 72. Big yourselves up. Bit of Harris Army, big yourselves up. Everyone, make sure keep smashing that like button. If you're new, keep smashing that subscribe button, and look, why not share it on your social media, share it with your friends, family, anyone that might be watching to pop on and give us a bit of support, guys. Absolutely appreciate all of you coming over, and big up Catman and Shamu and the disabled team, all still here from the very beginning as well. Big yourselves up.
Really appreciate you guys. Really do appreciate all the support you guys are showing as well. Shamu, thank you for answering, my question on where Tonali came originally. It wasn't Spezia. I misspoke. It was actually, it was Brescia. And so I actually don't know much about Brescia. All I can know is that I do think actually Balotelli was playing with him at the same time during that Serie A season. Catman Jess saying as well, I've never realized how many legends have played for Brescia. I'm actually, apart from maybe Balotelli, Tonali, and I do maybe think Kevin Prince Boateng was actually there at the same time with Balotelli there, but I am not sure actually how many more legends have played for Brescia. Do let me know. Spurs 72 saying, evening chat, big ups Jack and David. Do appreciate you, Spurs 72. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Please really pat yourselves on the back. I really do applaud you for joining us. Dave and I, we'd be watching this, together with ourselves, maybe just enjoying ourselves, maybe crack open a few ones while we're watching it. But we figured we might as well just do that with the Harris Army, do it with the Flat Cap Army. So we really do appreciate you guys joining us. Philip Brady in the house. Good to see you as well. And Sean Snow, thank you for joining us as well, Sean. Really do appreciate it. Sean Snow saying everyone likes a winner. Yeah, that's what I would say. Definitely in Leipzig, they do seem to like the winners over there. To be honest, Sean, I would say, especially being, Hertha Berlin being my second team, I would say I would probably maybe eat my words and say I would like to see maybe Hertha have a similar situation happen to them. So I probably am a bit of a hypocrite, but all I can say is in Germany. There is a huge, like Leipzig have practically replaced Bayern as maybe one of the more hated teams in Germany. That's what I can say.
Absolutely love it. Do you know what, Jack? AC Milan, and they're getting a lot down the side. They lack everything after that. No one can get a ball into the box to one of their players in the same shirt. You know, there's no creativity out wide, and they're just giving the ball back to Liverpool every time. And there's a fan absolutely delighted with the football. Just they're that cheap, that'll probably be wrapped up and give to the kid for Christmas, Jack.
Looked very delighted, though. I will give that to him, Dave. That was very nice to watch. Good, maybe heartwarming moment there to see for the Scouser fan. It looked like maybe it could have been a Milan fan, actually, but it did look like a Liverpool fan there. Catman Jess saying, hey, David and Jack, what do you think of Jose's start at Roma? It's been pretty great so far for Jose. I'm not surprised, actually, though. He's been given good investment at Roma. He has a very good squad there. He has a good young talent as well. There are lots of very, I would say, intense, focused players as well. Players that absolutely, feed into that Jose, everybody against us kind of mentality. Lots of good shithousery on that team. It just seems like maybe it's the right match for Jose, where I said before at Spurs, I just don't think that Spurs were the right match for Jose. Actually, I don't think our players, our mentality as a club and everything were actually the right match for Jose. Whereas I would say it seems like Roma are weirdly in maybe the perfect kind of situation or setting for Jose. Also, some of the signings that Roma have made have been quite clever, I will say. Obviously, the Tammy Abraham signing has worked out very well as well. They've signed a guy named Shomurodov, who's a Kyrgyzstani international, which I cannot wait to use in FIFA 22. I will admit, David, the Kyrgyzstani international. I've seen him play a few times for Genoa. Honestly, a fantastic player. That's a bit of flat cap Euro talk, maybe insider information, I will say, on Shomurodov, but definitely someone I would keep an eye out for, Catman, on AS Roma. It seems like Jose really enjoys him as well. Very good chance there for AC Milan, David, again, but it just seems like they can't do that final ball. That final ball they've really lacked. They've actually had some good opportunities in exposing Liverpool.
Yeah, they have. They're just lacking the ball into the box. They can't seem to find that final pass, and it's shocking. I do want to just talk a bit on Jose. Look, I know it didn't work out at Tottenham, and, just listening to you there, Jack, and saying the mentality, this, that, and the other. Look, I predicted, as soon as he leaves Tottenham, he'll walk into another job and he'll do very, very well there, and if not, go and win more trophies, right? But look, what kills me is, the players, they need an arm around them and everything else. But what are they saying now this season? You know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous. Look, for me, it's not that they need an arm around them, but if we don't have that culture or the players are too nice, change them. Go and buy the manager. Go and buy the winners that he needs. He's going to win you trophies. Look, it's, and then, do you know what kills me more? You have, and I'm going to say this, but you have Alex, right? He's on streams now, Jack, and he's there. Sack Jose, this, that, and the other, and everything else. He was one of the big campaigners to get him sacked until he got sacked. And absolutely kills me. And I was telling everybody, in hindsight, we could end up regretting this. We should be changing our squad to match fees. We haven't done that. He was getting the very best out of Kane and Son. It was only the players in the squad that have been losers for years that were crying and that he couldn't get the best out of. And, look, I do think he's going to do very well at Rome. And I think we might regret getting it. Look, I'm not surprised. Look, our squad, up until we rotated it this year, was very soft. But, all of a sudden you sack Jose Mourinho, Ryan Mason comes in, and now and then all of a sudden it's the squad, it's the dead. But it's this, it's that, about it for months upon months upon months. And, it's and then, we sell the Deadwood. Okay, we got off to a good start this season and everything else. But, imagine I just think maybe, Joe, you might have seen a lot more out of it,
Yeah, I think that's well described, David. And as well to another David here, the absolute legend himself, the biblical David. If it isn't the leader of the country, David, the absolute legend of the David army as well, David. He says, hi, David and Jack. Brugge, or Club Bruges, playing very well against PSG. Navas making some great saves. 1-1 at the moment. That's very interesting, I will say. I'm actually quite surprised. Again, hopefully another Basel situation we might be seeing. Hopefully another BSE. A good chance here for Ravens. Get in!
Yes!
Come on for Ravens!
Come on! Come on!
There it is, boys. There it is.
I'm waiting for Liverpool now to come out. Big up, Rebic.
Absolutely love Rebic. Absolutely. Shamu, there it is, buddy. There it is. He's wearing it right here. He's wearing it right here. Thanks to Shamu. Thanks to the legend of the Itch Army. Shamu, the Itch Army of the Black Cap Army of the Harris Army. Ante Rebic with the equalizer. Jurgen Klopp wiping his nose like me, wiping the sweat off the brow. He looks confused. He looks dazed. He doesn't know where he is, David. He probably has to change the contacts back to the goggles from before. He seems distraught. It's honestly brilliant, Dave. This is exactly what I wanted to see. And hopefully that prediction that Disabled Team and I had earlier for the 2-1 win for Milan is coming true here. An absolutely class pass from Leao and an absolutely class meg from Salamakers as well. Salamakers had a very, very classy meg in the middle of the park there to play it to Leao. Leao then first time ball to Rebic. Rebic curls it around beautifully around Alisson for a deadly finish. Honestly brilliant from the club. Honestly brilliant from Milan. I'd love to see it. It's 1-1. Joel Matip looks absolutely infuriated. This is brilliant.
I absolutely love the movement there from Rebic. I absolutely love the movement. For half of that play, Jack, for most of the build-up, he stood in an offside position and, wasn't really interested in coming back. All of a sudden, the defence drops to where he is. He makes a run and no one knows where he is. And then the finish, look, I actually think Alisson probably could have done a bit better. But look, I'm absolutely delighted. It's 1-1.
And Leao now going down the left-hand side. Milan here. Hopefully he plays one of them inside. And it's Rebic again. Rebic plays it across goal. Oh, and it's oh, come on, boys. Come on, it's Brahim Diaz. What's happened? Rebic and Leao absolutely tearing apart the Scousers. Olivier Giroud on the sideline with the hair gel as well. Insane. It is brilliant to watch.
The AC Milan fans, absolutely singing in the rain. Love it. They're going nuts. Liverpool, they need to lock up their wives. Milan fans are going to have a riot here in Liverpool tonight. 2 goals in 2 minutes. This is what dreams are made of, especially when you hate Liverpool as much as I do. I can't wait to ring some of my friends later on tonight. I cannot wait. This is absolutely shocking. Rafael Leao, 2 massive infos here. And just quickly, this one might just be ruled out. No, it came off one of the Liverpool players, so it shouldn't be ruled out. But absolutely great play by Rafael Leao, to be honest.
No, I really don't think it should be as well. Again, I'd love to see that also as well. Andy Robertson, decent effort trying to clear it as well, but not enough to keep it out. Brilliant move by the AC Milan team, David. Brilliant, totally against the run of play. And there's already AC Milan fans, David. They're already absolutely crying of enjoyment. They're crying from enjoyment, like you said, David. They're singing in the rain.
Well, Jack, this is their first time back in the Champions League in a long, long time, if I'm not correct, in a few years. And you have to remember, look, this AC Milan team has gone from the all-conquering Kaká, Shevchenko, Gattuso, Maldini, Nesta, players of that ilk, to really being in the mires in the last, I would say, 10 years, if not more. They've been really, really kind of, in the doldrums. So this will mean a lot for these AC Milan fans getting back into Europe and then taking out one of the biggest challengers for the trophy, I'd say.
No, you're absolutely right, David. You're absolutely right. Because, even to someone, who I know is a bit of a Liverpool fan, actually, before this game, he even did say, he says, it is still wonderful, he said, to see AC Milan, just to see that crest, back in the Champions League. It's usually kind of a crest, a club badge that you would say is kind of synonymous with the Champions League. But it's actually been, a club that's been significantly out of it for a long time. They've definitely dropped heavily from maybe the European standings in terms of power and progress. So it's good to really see this. Like you said, David, this is honestly something that the Milan fans have maybe didn't think would maybe come so soon, considering they were absolutely in free fall for a long time. I think even under, I forget his name, it might have been Berlusconi or someone, even the former Italian politician was kind of the runner of the club as well. I think he ran it into the ground, so I've been told. So honestly, David, they must be absolutely delighted. And as well, now it's 2-1 to AC Milan going into halftime. This is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant.
I just want to say, Jack, just while it's on my mind, David here. We also have Dark Sung G. Big up, Dark Sung G. Appreciate you popping in, my man. But Jack, we have David here, and he was at the other day just after you left. Well, he actually put it in before you left, but I didn't read it in time to get you to answer before. But he was wanting to know your thoughts on Kim Min-jae, and how he started in Fenerbahce. I think in the Turkish league, he wants to know, about what you make of the start.
Yeah, David, I kind of broke up there, but I'm pretty sure you kind of were referencing Kim Min-jae in terms of his start, I'm assuming, from David's Super Chat. And David, we always appreciate you as well for support, as well as everyone else, even just for showing up for this watch along. Honestly, all of you are absolute legends of the Harris Army, absolute legends of the Flat Cap Army. We really do appreciate you. But Fenerbahce, I know, David, I believe they're actually tied on points with maybe the rest of the league in terms of their results. All I know is that in the case with Fenerbahce, I think they've drawn one. I think they dropped points once. I am about to check on it just to make sure. Yes, they drew to Sivasspor, which is actually a decent team, I will say, in the Turkish Super League. So that was the team that they did drop points to. They've had plenty of clean sheets from the looks of it. So it seems like Kim Min-jae seems to be doing something right at Fenerbahce, David. He seems to be doing something right in terms of maybe keeping them getting clean sheets, David. Also, from the looks of it, when I'm looking at the formations, David, it does seem like they're rocking kind of a 5 in the back, 3 in the back system over there, and Kim Min-jae seems to be playing in the center, which only means he's a good defender. That's what I would say to you, David, the Harris Army. So all I can say is Fenerbahce, from what I knew before I looked it up just now, I knew they actually had a lot of clean sheets and that they dropped points to somebody, and it appears that they dropped points to Sivasspor. But apart from that, they've actually had some very solid outings, very solid performances, good clean sheets. And so definitely, I would say it seems like that signing has actually worked out for them and maybe improving the defense. But obviously, they're only 3 games in, I believe, into the Turkish Super League. So plenty still to happen. But Kim Min-jae, David, has started off very strong. Clearly has made an improvement to that Fenerbahce defense over there. I know Fenerbahce didn't get the title last season. They might have actually fallen quite short of the title last season as well, Fenerbahce. So if Kim Min-jae were to lead them to a title, might be one of the ones that would lead that defense to a title. Trying to think as well. I think even Fenerbahce lost actually a very important player who I just saw playing for Besiktas recently, David. And his name was Souza. And I think he used to be a Fenerbahce player, and now he's no longer a Fenerbahce player. So it seems like Kim Min-jae might have replaced him in the defense, and it seems like he's already started off fantastically. So that's what I can tell you, dude, David. I would say Kim Min-jae, I learned about him from Dark Sun G. Dark Sun G, I then kind of took that and, kind of looked him up a bit more.
That's what they call him.
He's originally from Kim Min-jae. I think he originally came from the China League, David, from the Chinese League. I think he played for Guangzhou. I think he played for Guangzhou. Do correct me if I'm wrong, anyone. But he did well there, highly rated, and then went over to the Turkish league. I think he's still about 23, 24 years old as well, Kim Min-jae, maybe even a bit younger than that. So definitely would like to see, maybe him continue this decent run of form as well. It seems like he's becoming a good defender. Maybe he might even already be one of the best defenders for the Korean national team. I'm not so sure. But yeah, all I can say to you, David, is he started off strong at Fenerbahce, and as well, it seems like maybe, the Chinese Super League to the Turkish Super League isn't too much of a step up for him. He seems quite ready for it, and maybe from there he can make another step up. That's all I can say. That's my scouting report on Kim Min-jae, David. We do apologize for the delay as well on giving you maybe our thoughts on this.
Yeah, man, on my word. Look, we really appreciate, all the super chats that we do get. It is greatly appreciated. And I felt really bad that day, so I'm glad that we could make it up to you today. And I hope you enjoyed Jack's answer, although it's about 48 hours too late. But I really do get it. And Dark Song G, as ever, coming in, making sure Jack is on point. Absolutely love it, Dark Song G. You're a top man. You're a top man, Jack. I'm just going to plug my phone in, but I can still hear you. So
no problem.
We can still talk.
No problem, David. No problem. And David, absolutely no. And like I said, David, believe me, we actually apologize. Especially, I should have actually saw your super chat before I left. During the fan show, I should have actually gave my thoughts on that. I should have just maybe shut up, David, right away. I said, before I go, David, let me get to this super chat to give you that scouting report. So here I am, David. I actually even should have came up with a bit more information. So next time, maybe, David, I'll even give you a bit more information next week on Kim Min-jae, just so we don't fall short on that. But we really do appreciate your support as always. And as well as everyone, there are 13 people in the building. So anybody that is new to Flat Cap Euro Talk, we really would appreciate, a subscription, that big shiny red button down below. If you'd like to click it, we really would appreciate it. If you'd like to see any more of this, What's the score there, chat? It is actually 1-2 for AC Milan. Liverpool are actually now losing to AC Milan 1-2. Club Brugge, I'm looking at highlights now where it is maybe, let us know, everybody, is it still 1-1 over in Paris? Or no, in Belgium? Is it still 1-1 between Brugge and PSG? It does seem like it is. So that could be a big upset. And there does seem to be some good upsets going so far in the Champions League as well. David, Sheriff, the team that David and I will be giving a good explain story on. Everybody, keep your eye out for it. We will be giving a Sheriff FC explain story on that Moldovan team. We will be explaining their kind of rise from form, even their rise as a club. They're a very young club. David even told me they actually originally were founded in 1997, so they're only 24 years old, the club, but they've made a historic rise, the first ever Moldovan team to make it to the Champions League group stages as well. So it is a huge Cinderella story, you might say, for the club. But we'll be giving a bit of an explained on that club because they did just beat now Shakhtar Donetsk, probably another one of my kind of, smaller teams that I do actually really have a soft spot for, kind of like Hertha Berlin. They've, just smacked them 2-0, and I would say quite favorably, quite comfortably as well. Sheriff FC. Yeah, they beat them 2-0, David, just today.
They're serious.
Yeah, they're unbelievable.
Serious run. Do you know they knocked out Red Star Belgrade?
They knocked out Dinamo
Red Star
Zagreb.
Belgrade. Yeah. So Red Star Belgrade, they turned Liverpool over a couple of years in Belgrade. They're a very tough team to go to. They've had a few turnovers at home. So that was a very, very good result. Dynamo Kiev,
especially
Dynamo
against
Zagreb,
the Serbians, you would think, Dave. Also, there's probably a bit of a rivalry. Between the Moldovans and Serbians as well. So, yeah, like you said, fantastic victory. And then, go on, David.
Yeah, Jack, they had a fantastic victory over Zagreb. They absolutely, had a good one. I think it was 3-0 over the two legs, which is a very good result for them. And then, of course, beating Zagreb, Ukraine, that's their next door neighbours. That's a rivalry. That's a very, very good result for them. They're absolutely flying on. This is what dreams are made of for them. 3 teams, you'd say, all in that old Eastern European block, Jack. So 3 teams, 3 rivals, and they've spanked them all. Absolutely dream stuff from FC Sheriff. And believe it or not, they were the first Moldovan team to bring in Brazilian and African players into the Moldovan leagues as well.
There you go. And everybody, as you probably are used to from David and I, we do like to do our research on this. And David is actually more of a Sheriff FC or FC Sheriff expert than I am. And we will be, again, I will be plugging this again. There will be an explained story coming out, especially after they just, again, everybody did beat Shakhtar Donetsk 2-0 at home. They did beat them 2-0 at home. But like David said, in terms of even a geopolitical kind of rivalry, it's a huge rivalry between the Moldovans and the Ukrainians, very close neighbors, obviously even in their own histories, very close neighbors. So you might say in terms of politics, in terms of even geography, a huge rival. And honestly, again, especially their first Champions League night, David, winning 2-0 at home. I mean, you couldn't have a more better result for a club like that. I mean, they're absolutely in ecstasy over there in that disputed region of Moldova. Yeah.
No, they are. And look, it's the first time ever reaching the group stages. They had the heartbroken to get here. And it's just an unbelievable run they're on, beating 3 rivals in the process. And as well, look, that win, Jack, it gives them is there the Europa League. So look, it's definitely one to keep an eye on. They're in dreamland.
Trust me, absolutely in dreamland.
Beat Shakhtar. Real Madrid. It is.
No, they're absolutely in dreamland as well. It's good to see. I just saw a bit of a highlight there of Pep Guardiola with the new sweatshirt for this game, and it seems to be a funny one. I will say I never rated Pep Guardiola's fashion on the sideline. Never really likened it, and it's good to see him maybe being a bit humbled by the Belgian side. He seems to be more. People are saying, David, Pep Guardiola overthinks things. He seems to think too much about his tactics. That's where he gets wrong. Personally, if you ask me, I think he's actually just thinking too much about the outfits before the game, thinking too much about, what style of jeans he wants to go with, which sweatshirt that he overpaid for. So that's what, if you were to ask me, that's what I think Pep Guardiola is getting wrong. That's the only reason why he's, maybe having these kind of embarrassing drop points or embarrassing defeats recently. It's just because he's thinking too much about, what the outfit looks like. And as well, I would say even another thing to Pep Guardiola, supposedly even his wife is a fashion designer and does, his styling. I will say, she seems to, I'm not sure how somebody could be paid, to make a guy wear overpriced sweatshirts and jeans to every game, David. If you ask me, I don't know why that, would be someone you would pay for fashion advice.
Dele Alli's got a new haircut. Something far. They like to think of themselves as these fashionistas. Look, it wouldn't surprise me to see him release a fashion brand after Guardiola's finished with football. If you wore like a sweater like he does,
David, I think I would. I think there's a lot of lag, on Harasinha's end, as Shamu is saying here. So maybe. Yeah, no problem. But you've been absolutely a good luck charm to us, David. You've been a huge good luck charm. So definitely come back soon. Bob Spur, thank you so much for joining us, Bob. He says, absolutely fantastic show as always, Jack. Do appreciate it, Bob. It is the first live stream, so it's only going to get better from here. But he says, Milan looking great versus Liverpool. Good to see Davido Hariso as well. Yeah, definitely. Davide Harasinha, the absolute legend himself, is in the building. But I would say, everybody, David is just having a bit of lag issues, so hopefully he'll be back soon. We do apologize about that, but it seems like, with the luck that we're getting from the Ravens jersey via Shamu, Bob, we don't maybe need David maybe for the halftime at the moment. We're just going to maybe hold on without our good luck charm. But David has absolutely been a good luck charm, I will say, this game. I would say I'm not as much of the lucky one. David here saying Pep overthinking failed him in the Champions League semifinals, always trying something new and wild in the biggest stage. Yeah, I really do agree, especially what was that Champions League final lineup, David? He went for something kind of crazy. He went for like there wasn't even a defensive midfielder. I think he left out Rodri and Fernandinho for that game. So it really does show that Pep Guardiola is absolutely overthinking certain games. And I do agree with that. And I do think it's just because he's overthinking, which sweatshirt he has to put on for each game, David. It just must be that. But do let me know what you think, maybe what's causing him to be so distracted. I'm just going to go through a bit of the comments of anyone's I missed. Adam saying it's a scripted FIFA game at AE. That's very good to see. I would like to say that, especially after Liverpool were dominating the game, absolutely all over AC Milan, and then AC Milan kind of against the run of play, get a goal and then get another goal. It's absolutely script FIFA. You couldn't love it any more than this. And he says, Milan were behind and we're like, oh, hell no, not doing this again. Definitely not. They're trying to actually show them, they've thought about the final and Tottenham tantrum saying, please all seven, like Jack deserves it so much. Really do appreciate it, Dermot. And as well, I would say everybody check out Tottenham Tantrum on Twitter, an absolute legend, your filtered news source for all things Tottenham. Really do appreciate you, Dermot. And Paro Miguel Escobardo saying for the PSG Club Brugge game, it's 1-1 at halftime. Very good to see. Thank you again, Paro Miguel Escobardo. And as well, Dark Sun G, to Paro Miguel, to Catman Jess, to Dermot, to Adam, to AE, Catman Jess again, Spurs 72. Disabled team, Bob Spur. I really do appreciate you guys showing up for this one. Again, if you needed a bit of a neutral supporter, for this kind of game, I don't think I've been too neutral for this one. Then again, because I have been actually heavily cheering for AC Milan, but maybe in future games I'll be a bit more neutral on it. But anybody that wants to recommend this to somebody for maybe a future watch along, I would really appreciate it because there will be plenty more in the future. And Mac is joining us in the building saying, big up, Jack. Really big up yourself, Mac. Really, again, thank you for joining us. Dark Sun G saying, I love how Liverpool is losing to Milan since my dad was cocky and said Liverpool would win no problem. Dark Sun G, do let me know if your dad is a Liverpool fan. That would be quite unfortunate, considering that I would say Liverpool fans, the Scousers, they are probably the most full of themselves at times, considering, they won the league. And, it seems like we've never forgotten about it ever since. So do let me know, Dark Sun G, if that, that bit of that boastfulness, that bit of that cockiness is maybe getting to you, and maybe now he's going to get humbled, like you're saying. So Dark Sun G, happy to see that, really happy to see that. But moving on, David saying, yep, it was no CDM in that game. Yeah, there were no CDMs in that Champions League final. That is for sure. Adam, big yourself up. Disabled team saying, always forgiven, Jack. Definitely disabled team. He says Salah had the chance to kill the game but couldn't, and this happened. Yep, he had the chance to seal it. Also, Dark Sun G, from what I've seen with Mo Salah, he likes to go for kind of that penalty down the middle with a bit of power. I've seen him do a lot, and a lot of times it's looked like a very kind of clever way to go for a finish on a penalty. But it seemed like Mike Magnan, despite diving the other way, was still able to kind of read it. So do let me know, Dark Sun G, and he's also saying he is a Liverpool fan. I'm going to bring David back in so he can respond to Dark Sun G. If I can bring David back in. And it's David. Apparently, Dark Sun G's dad is actually, or his out dad is a Liverpool fan. I can see you, David. I think you're kind of coming back into it, so do let us know. But David, maybe so you can quickly respond. Dark Sun G's father is actually a Liverpool fan, unfortunately, and he's probably gonna, be kind of maybe drinking up the tears maybe tonight from his father.
No, look, definitely will be. He definitely will be. No, look, Liverpool fan. I'm sure the Champions League final was very interesting, Dark Sun G. But look, you can revel in it tonight. You can revel in it tonight. Put them into a bat and absolutely, because it's not too. You haven't had too much, time to absolutely, revel in it. Oh, it's 3-1. Oh, it's
offside. No, he's offsides. He's offsides. That's wow. That's unfortunate. I was actually just as I was paying attention. That's unfortunate. Liverpool are absolutely terrified, Dark Sun G. That's what I will tell you. Your father, again, the outlad must be absolutely terrified. Oh, that was a bit lucky as well, I will say. Bit of a lucky offsides call as well. I did think it was going to be something different there. Jay Greenham in the chat saying, big up, Jack. Love the Croatia shirt. It looks electric. Absolutely class comment, Jay. Absolutely class comment. Unbelievable comment there. I do love it. No, it is electric. It's an electric atmosphere, and it's electric atmosphere as well. Again, even I forgot who it was. It might have been Adam and other people. I do love that everybody remembers the itch of the week. I do love that everybody remembers the itch of the week, because everybody's already calling out Ante Rebic be the itch of the week. He might have to be, Shamu as well. Everybody will be joining us for the flat cap itch of the week, I do believe, from here on out, when Shamu can make it. Excuse me. And Jay Greenham, I do appreciate it. I do appreciate, the acknowledgement of the Croatia jersey. Do appreciate you. But yeah, everybody, Shamu will be joining us for the flat cap itch of the weeks from now. And I know Shamu has a lot of expert knowledge on the itches, like myself, even probably more knowledge of the itches than me. So he will be joining us. We were probably going to go for Mateo Kovacic this week, but it looks like things might have to change a bit. Looks like things might have to change. And Adam saying banging comment, Jay. Absolute banger of a comment, definitely. And Adam is absolutely delighted to hear that Shamu will be part of maybe the flat cap itch of the week team. I really do appreciate that, Adam. And as well, everyone else. Honestly, really do appreciate your support. Really do appreciate your support. If you're not subscribed, I'm pretty sure you are, but if you're not subscribed, anybody that is watching, I would appreciate it. It is that big shiny red button down below that you're willing to maybe drop an Irish people's elbow, maybe even a flat cap elbow on it if you like. But again, there will be more Champions League watch-alongs, even more live shows from here on out. But it's only going to get better from here. But really do appreciate you guys for showing up to it for our second channel here. Liverpool on the attack, though, and this is 2-2. Unless he's offsides. No, it doesn't seem so. They did just equalize there, Liverpool. They did just equalize. Very funny celebration by Salah. A bit of a strange celebration, if you ask me. But 2-2, they just equalized. A very, very beautiful ball lifted over the top. I forget who it was. Whoever lifted that ball over the top to might have been Fabinho. That is a brilliant pass. Or no, it was Divock Origi. Divock Origi with a very, 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 very clever pass there. Beautiful pass, and actually good finish there by Salah. I will say Mike Maignan probably, if he read that a bit better, probably could have gone out and maybe done something. Even he probably could have gone out and maybe tried to at least maybe make Salah a bit more scared. He kind of made it a bit too easy for him, I would say. Almost anyone could have finished that, considering Mike Maignan didn't get any pressure there. So if you ask me, maybe a bit of a mistake on the keeper's end. But brilliant pass by Divock Origi, I will admit, especially for a donkey. A beautiful pass, beautiful pass. This is not the way. Definitely not the way. This is a fantastic game, though, I will say. At first, I thought this was going to be absolute domination from Liverpool by the way it looked. And now it's actually gone down to 2-2. So this is a brilliant game. I'm actually glad that we picked this game for the watch-along. But David saying, yeah, Salah now with the 2-2 equalizer. Quite unfortunate, I will admit. But hopefully maybe AC Milan can now not get too ahead of themselves, not get too confident, because there's still plenty of football to be played here. Now it's Liverpool in possession. Naby Keita on the ball, doing a bit of a step overs, playing it back outside, recycling it through Joe Gomez. Do think that David is just having a bit of internet troubles today, guys. So yeah, I'm maybe just going to lead this watch along from here on out. Hopefully, if that's all right with you guys. But everybody as well, I will remind you that we do have Kaniki Answer Me tonight. So don't go anywhere. Please head on over to the Irish Hotspur later for the Kaniki Answer Me, as always. The good debate show, where we ask lots of good questions. Darius will be joining it for this one. It'll be some good debates between Darius, David, and I, talking about kind of Crystal Palace, talking about kind of the bigger Spurs existential questions and whatnot. So please join us for that. There's nowhere else to go than the Irish Hotspur after this. But now it's being played through the middle here. Jordan Henderson playing it out wide to Andy Robertson. Andy Robertson looking for a ball, plays it to Divock. Divock having a bit of a tough time maybe controlling that, but then actually wins it back off of Salamakers. Salamakers has lost it in horrible positions, I will say, on the pitch this game. Yeah, that's a horrible place to lose it, I will admit. But Jurgen Klopp is now up in the fans. All the fans at Anfield are definitely up for this one after now that they've equalized. They definitely were probably quieted down, a bit shut up, probably by the way AC Milan have started. Trent Alexander-Arnold with a volley from outside the box, sends it over the bar. But hopefully so, that Liverpool will be able to maybe kind of go back to the form that we saw earlier, where they were actually not able to handle the Rafael Leao attacks and Ante Rebic attacks. Hopefully we can bring David in this time. It might work out a bit better.
Yeah, I don't know what's going
David?
on, Jack. Yeah, everything seems to be working fine when I don't need to be streaming. And then as soon as I stream, over the last week, my internet seems to be playing up. So I'm going to have to send another strongly worded email to Air. If anyone from Air is watching or anyone that works for them, please get it sorted out. It's absolutely atrocious. I'm paying top dollar for this crap. But look, Liverpool going 2-2, Jack. Very, very disappointed with that. Look, it was a good goal, good finish by Salah. But look, this AC Milan team definitely isn't done yet. There's definitely more goals in this game, Jack.
I think there is more goals in this game. And I was saying earlier, David, I'm actually quite happy that we picked this game, because at first I was a bit worried it was going to be a Liverpool domination. But the way this has turned out so far, this has actually been a brilliant game to watch, I will admit. So I actually am quite happy that we picked this one. Salah, again, causing a bit of trouble for Theo Hernandez on the left-hand side. Mike Maignan, again, I would say, David, if you saw that Salah goal, if you were able to witness it, I did think Mike Maignan probably could have done a little bit better there, if you ask me. But now it's a ball in behind for Rebic. Ooh, just a little bit heavy for him, but great run by the player and great run and pass by Brahim Diaz. Good idea, but could have been maybe a little bit less weight on it. Jordan Henderson in the midfield, playing it out to Salah. The Liverpool fans are definitely feeling themselves. They're absolutely waving the scarves, Dave, even though they, have been down for the majority of this match.
Yeah, no, they are, Jack. But you know what? Look, they're always like this at home. All them scarves must be free. The Scousers are absolutely tightwads, so they must have been free on the seats. Return to the stadium for the Champions League. No, look, Liverpool, in fairness, they're not dying. They found a way back into the game. They got the goal. They are pressing now to go and get, the third one and really, lift the roof off this place. But, no, look.
4-2 Milan, David. Do you see Milan scoring more goals?
I definitely see them scoring one more. I'm not sure about two, but I definitely see one more goal in this Milan team. That's for sure.
David saying Mbappe injured, taken off. Wow. That is big news. Hopefully, David, do let me know if it's serious. If it's very serious, do let me know. And he says he has both games on. Yeah, that Brugge game does seem like one I'm actually going to be watching maybe in full. I would say, David, I think you're also in the U.S. as well, David. So do let me know actually in the comments. I'm pretty sure Paramount Plus, David, actually records the games after they even put them on live. So I would like to actually watch that game at the Club Brugge against PSG, especially if Brugge were able to get a good result from it. And as well, now it's being recycled through the back line.
I'll be so shocked, Jack, if Brugge. I'd be so shocked if Brugge got a result out of this game, especially with all the embarrassment of riches that PSG have. It'll be an absolute shock around the world. I think not just around Europe, but around the world. So fair play to Club Brugge if to do. And look, I love an underdog story, so I would like to see them get something from the game.
No, I would like to see him get something from the game. And do let me know, David, since you're watching that Brugge game, if Noah Lang, that Dutch international, that's the one player I know at Brugge that's supposed to be their big number 10. They're kind of big creative for us. So do let me know if Noah Lang is playing and if he's actually having a good game. Ante Rebic here coming inside, going up against Joel Matip, played the ball into the 6 where there's no one there. Kind of played it a bit blindly into the 6. Maybe could have done a bit better there, Ante Rebic, but I would say, he absolutely was getting swarmed.
No, definitely. I want to big up Brian C as well. Brian C's in the comments. Absolute legend, my man. I hope things are well. Good to see you in. I hope you're enjoying the game. We definitely are. Look, even if Liverpool end up drawing this with AC Milan, I'll be absolutely delighted. Look, I'm just sick of these Liverpool fans crying. They're still crying over that challenge on Harvey Elliott. Look, in my opinion, the red card should have been rescinded. It wasn't. On it, and they're still the only team that I've ever heard, call for a player who's made a tackle, to be suspended for as long as the player's out injured. Absolute ridiculous in my eyes. And it looks like the Ollie Giroud is about to come on, Jack.
No, he is. I just want to address Dark Sunji's comment from before that I actually missed. Dark Sunji saying, he's talking about his dad, David, that, as a Liverpool fan, he's saying he was shocked, his dad, that, he found out that Dark Sunji is a Spurs fan, saying Liverpool is in Dark Sunji's blood. And definitely Dark Sunji, I would say absolutely no way. I mean, it's almost like, just doesn't make sense, Dark Sunji. I mean, like I said, Dark Sunji, if I could hire anyone to be sitting in the coach's dugout, it would be you. I mean, clearly there's no person actually more Spurs white and blue or white and navy blue blood than you. I mean, honestly, Dark Sunji, that's actually atrocious that your father would even say that you're carrying red in the blood. I don't even think his blood is red, David. Dark Sunji just seems to only bleed Tottenham as well. I would like Dark Sunji to be maybe ahead of, part of the youth academy setup, part of the scouting team as well. Dark Sunji, all he knows is Spurs.
No, it's all he knows. Look, Dark Sunji, he definitely bleeds blue and white. That's for sure. And just why Brian C is there as well, my man. Get in contact. The reason why I want you to get in contact, I would love to get you on one of the shows, my man. So please do get in contact, Brian C, if you're still watching.
Definitely. And Dark Sunji saying it's Liverpool versus Palace, match day 5. What result do you want? Probably similar. Hopefully Palace maybe continue this run of form, with their 2-2 draw against West Ham. Now, of course, our embarrassing 3-0 defeat that they gave us. Maybe they can continue on it, build up on that momentum against Liverpool. I'd love to see it. I'd absolutely love to see it. So, Dark Sunji, if Liverpool are at home for this fixture, I'd love to see maybe, and it's not asking too much, maybe just they drop points like a 1-1 sort of thing at Anfield or something like that. That's what I could see happening. If it is at home, if it is at Selhurst Park for Crystal Palace, I'd love to see another 3-0 maybe there. That would just be brilliant, but I don't want to ask too much. Dark Sunji, but do appreciate you as always, Dark Sunji. David, what would you like to see?
Do you know what, Jack? I was just about to say to you, you never know. I remember Palace were dead and buried. Was it they were dead and buried against Liverpool? Liverpool, I think we're up 3-0 the year. They were supposed to, they ended up losing it. And Palace came back to 3-3. Absolute cracker of a game. So I'd never, ever write Palace off against Liverpool. Sometimes there's just teams in the league that just tend to grind out a result against a team. And yeah, look, hopefully Palace will be buoyed going into this game, off the back of all the London derbies they've played, beating us 3-0. Well, but more than beating us, they smacked us, let's be honest. So look, hopefully the confidence is going into that game. And yeah, look, I agree. Hopefully they can take a draw out of it, Jack. I think a draw would be a very good result for the whole league, to be honest with you.
Definitely. Dark Sunji, those are our answers there. Big yourself up, Dark Sunji. Thank you so much for joining us. And as well as Brian C and everyone else, everybody, really do appreciate you all. You're absolute legends, the Harris Army and the Flat Cap Army. David here saying, yep, Noah Lang is playing. He's playing, Jack. Looked good in the first half. That's good to see. That is good to see. I do rate Noah Lang. He does look quite brilliant, especially even for the Belgian Pro League. He does look like a real talent. I do believe he came from Ajax as well. I think he might be there on a loan or a permanent. I'm not actually sure, David, but he has been playing quite well there over at Club Brugge. Now Milan are actually on the attack here. Could be a bit of a counter. Ante Rebic going up against Fabinho gets absolutely, that was a bit poor there, I would say, from Rebic. But hopefully Milan in those situations, maybe they could take advantage of that a bit more, I would say. But David, really do appreciate you as always. Really do appreciate it. And Chris is in the house as well. Absolute legend to see the Chris. Chris, hope you're keeping well. Hope you're enjoying maybe the Scousers getting a bit humbled by the Milano fans, because honestly, it's really, really good to see AC Milan fans, singing in the rain, like David was saying earlier. They must be absolutely delighted to see them playing this well back in Europe. They seemed very, very nervous at first, Chris. I would say the Milan players, they did not seem like they were there to play, but now they've actually grown into it. And I will give credit to them, because it's not easy to play at Anfield on a Champions League night, especially the first night of the Champions League. Very difficult place to play, I would say. And they are getting a good result so far, but still plenty of football to be played, so I can't speak too soon.
Yeah, look, AC Milan, a bit like the first half here, Jack, causing their own problems again.
Yeah, I think so. They just seem to give it away in really horrible positions, David, especially one of them, I will say, Salamakers, I would say, has been having a horrible game, if you ask me. He had that fantastic mag, to give it to Leao, who then gave it to Rebic for their first goal. But Salamakers, I would say, has lost it in horrible positions. As well, Ismail Benacer, I would say, has not been too great. That even though I actually definitely rate him, he's not played too strong. They might need to put in Sandro Tonali, maybe Shamu's man, into the midfield just to shore things up, as well as David's man, maybe to shore things up. But there is a now long ball out wide to Davide Calibre. Again, just a horrible pass, I would say. That the link up between the AC Milan players sometimes is quite poor. But David saying, Jack, I'm in the US, but watching a Korean site. What's your IG or Twitter? Let me DM you. Everybody as well. David and I will be coming out with our Instagrams very soon, so that you don't have to leave Instagram. You can continue to watch the Irish Hotspur as well as Flat Cap Euro Talk. But the Flat Cap Euro Talk Instagram is already out, David. So please just look it up, flatcap_ or flatcap space Euro Talk, just how you see it on the channel there. Just check it on out. Pretty much I upload all of my shorter videos, everything from my weekend watch list to my itch of the week, anything that's basically under an hour, I will upload to Instagram. So you don't have to leave, and go to YouTube. You can just find it on over at Instagram. So David, you can also DM me there, of course. It's at flatcap Euro Talk, flatcap _ Euro Talk at Instagram. Everyone else that has an Instagram that just wants to find maybe the videos there, so they don't have to go to YouTube, plenty happy to provide. So please follow me on Twitter or on Instagram as well. Happy to follow me on Twitter. I will say I'm not as active there. You're probably more welcome to follow my personal Twitter. But in terms of Instagram, please follow Flatcap Euro Talk. You can find all the videos there. Anything that's under an hour, you would absolutely find it there at Flatcap Euro Talk, in case you don't want to leave your Instagram. So David, happy to message me there, and I'd be happy to talk to you.
There's a lot of the Harris Army coming in here today, Jack. I absolutely really appreciate the support, everybody. It's brilliant to get it. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much, everyone. You've made my day. And look, Jack, he's been smiling.
David. I am beaming.
Yeah. No, he is. Big up, guys. You've really made our day. And, the support we've been receiving on this is on the new channel here, the Flat Cap Euro Talk. It's been overwhelming so far. Not be able to grow it as quick as we are growing it right now. And look, just all I say is stay tuned. There's a lot more to come from this channel. It's only in its early stages. There's a hell of a lot more to come. Trust me.
Which game was Adam? I just want to know, which games was Luis Suarez bawling his eyes out? Might have been that Liverpool game. He probably was bawling his eyes out. Definitely, probably so, especially after Divock.
Oh, that was after the Palace game, the 3-3.
Oh, the 3-3. Oh, that is, I didn't know. I'm forgetting that game. Must be forgetting that game. David clearly has both of the Davids, I think, have a much better idea of what that game was like, that 3-3 Palace Liverpool game. Must be forgetting it. Must have actually completely spaced my mind. But Adam, I love that you're on the same page as David there. You guys are great minds think alike. Great minds think alike. Derek Hutchinson saying Liverpool 4-0 Palace. That's what I'd love to see as well. Derek Hutchinson as well. Derek, really do appreciate you for tuning in. Really do appreciate you for tuning in.
Yeah, imagine.
Max saying, finally a channel that we'd have to talk about Harry Winks or Wary Winks. Definitely, Mac. I would say, again, this is why we created partially the second channel. Not the main reason, but it is one of the reasons why. It's just this is a bit more of a relaxed atmosphere maybe for David and I. We don't have to be, maybe ranting about Spurs or, some of the some of the problems or existential crises that are at Spurs. This is kind of a place for David and I to relax, just kind of watch some good football and just to maybe enjoy all the things that are going on outside of the Spurs world, despite how big the Spurs world is. This is kind of the second channel is a place for us, to all maybe, stay informed on all the things that are happening outside of Spurs. So it is a place for us to be a bit more relaxed. Maybe I wouldn't say a bit more like ourselves. I would say the Irish Hotspur is very much ourselves, our truest self there, in that channel. But yeah, maybe more of like a relaxed version, David, you might say, of us over here, and a bit more of a, buddy, kind of like somebody you just want to sit back, enjoy a good neutral game with kind of channel.
Well, look, the way I see it, Jack, is right. We're all Spurs fans at the end of the day, agreed. But we're all football fans as well. Look, after Spurs have played, after we watch every Spurs game, we do like to keep an eye on other games around Europe. We do watch other games of football. So look, why not create another channel? You know what I mean? For a place where everyone that is Spurs fans, even if you're not Spurs fans, that can come in and enjoy football just like we do.
Yeah, and maybe apart from maybe games like this, David, where it isn't maybe Liverpool playing, we would say, we probably be a little bit less biased, maybe in terms of, what result we might want. But definitely, again, everybody that maybe wants that neutral stream. Wow, that is atrocious from Sadio Mane. That is an absolute souvenir for the crowd. But everyone, if anybody's in the game tonight, please let me know if you caught that, because honestly, it probably left the stadium. Probably might even left Merseyside altogether, that shot, I would say. Really, that was shocking. It was like a balloon. Everybody, again, I just
there's a
forget.
few people.
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, Dave.
There's definitely a few people waking up Christmas morning with a few Champions League balls, that's for sure.
Definitely. It's felt, they're quite expensive sometimes, those Champions League balls as well, David. So, it's a good charity maybe from Sadio Mane doing that. Quite nice of him. Mo Salah being shown the weight room there, absolutely, as well. And a good touch there from Giroud. Seemed like a handball from one of the Liverpool players, so it was a bit odd. But now everybody is still 2-2. Sorry, forgot to change that, everybody. I do apologize. It is actually 2-2, everybody, in case you're tuning in to this one. It is 2-2 between the sides, between Liverpool and AC Milan. Salah is the one that he's gotten both goals for this game as well. So just trying to make sure that I'm not missing anything here. It does seem like Liverpool have a good
could have had a hat-trick as well, Jack. He missed the penalty.
No,
he could have had a hat-trick as well.
Mm-hmm. Definitely so. But that's what we like to see. Chris saying, Jack, it's in the Thames with moon boots as clearance. Yeah, honestly, I would say, Chris, I don't know about you, but, sometimes, the ball boys on the side, they must be asked too much. I hope they're being paid enough, because not only do they have to fetch the balls, on the sideline, in the stands, from the fans, they then have to, after the game, they have to go out, and hold each other while they're fishing the balls out of the river as well. It's honestly quite shocking that, they're being forced to do that as well. Hopefully maybe Daniel Levy can find someone else to do it, because I know a lot of people probably think, Daniel Levy saving a buck in that, just using the ball boys just to fish out the balls from moon boots. But yeah, Sadio Mane maybe taking a page out of Eric Dyer's book there. Good chance for Liverpool here. Diego Jota. Oof, fantastic block by Teo Hernandez or Simon Kjaer as well. Fantastic chance, I will say, for Diego Jota. Did very well with his maneuvering in the box, and a fantastic block to send it over the bar. That was a very good opportunity. But everybody, again, in case you're looking for that neutral stream, maybe a bit of more of that neutral kind of bantery, maybe kind of watch along, this is your place. And I would recommend it to any. Oh, Jesus. It's 3-2. It's 3-2 Liverpool. Jordan Henderson from outside the box with the half volley.
I hate him. Why that idiot? I absolutely hate him. And then he's giving it the big ears, hands behind the ears to the crowd. Honestly, give it over. Give it over. You're beating a team that hasn't been in Europe in about 10 years, and you're giving it the big. Honestly, he should be ashamed of himself. I'm sick of this. You see why I hate Liverpool? I hate them.
I would say Mike Maignan again, though, I think should be doing a bit better. That's a very clinical strike. So maybe I'm being a bit harsh on him. Maybe I am being a bit harsh. That did dip away from him. That is a good finish, I will say. That is a good finish. But I will say the equalizer that Liverpool had, I did think that Mike Maignan could have done a lot better there And then it seems like maybe that one he could have done a bit better there, but that's hard to say. I think that's being a bit harsh on him, if you ask me. I might take that back. But Mike Maignan, the new signing, I would say he's done okay so far, but especially, good chance here. Allison saves it and parries it outside his 18. But yeah, everybody, it is now 3-2. It is now 3-2 Liverpool at home. Milan 2-1 up. Absolutely ruined it, I would say. They've absolutely fallen apart. Rafael Leao, they've even taken off early by the looks of it as well. I'm not so sure, why they're going about it this way, David. It does seem like they've kind of lost the plot here, and maybe Liverpool might be able to hold on to this and actually get all 3 points. Are you a bit disappointed?
Yeah, I am disappointed, to be honest with you.
The momentum's going their way.
Yeah. Look, they've let the momentum slip in the game. It was going their way. Of course, they had the offside goal ruled out as well. But yeah, I'm a bit disappointed. Look, the 3 points were there for them, Jack. They were in dreamland at half time, and look, hopefully now they might be able to muster something for the next 20 minutes. Create a chance and maybe come away with a point. But it's a big ask now.
Yeah, Chris saying Jordan Henderson is way overrated, David.
Yes, he is. I absolutely hate the guy. I absolutely hate him. But in fairness, he stuck it out at Liverpool when they wanted to sell him, and he's ended up captaining the team to the Champions League trophy and a league title. But look, I do think he's severely overrated. Look, as far as I'm aware, he gets called up to the Euros. What was it for England to create the bingo nights and stuff like that? Apparently, he's a great organizer of fun in the dressing room. Bingo. What else have we got? Game of bowls.
Candyland, Monopoly.
Monopoly, slip and slides. You know what I mean? Absolutely ridiculous. Playing volleyball in the pool, great crack. Absolutely wild fun Jordan Henderson is. And that's the only reason why I get picked for England. Absolutely ridiculous.
Maybe a bit similar to Joe Hart, you might say, David, in terms of dressing room.
Yeah, well, look, Joe Hart took it to the extreme, though, didn't he, Jack? Turning it into a program. Absolutely unbelievable, Jack. I couldn't believe it. I thought I was watching the Ashes. I'm sitting there waiting for Harry Kane, to come out from Tottenham, a few shots from Harry Kane into the top corner, sitting there so I could just watch it, instead of watching porn or something like that. It doesn't happen. And then they give me this crack of Joe Hart bowling one to Harry Kane, turning it into a cricket ground, into the Oval. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So, no, look, he's definitely not as bad as Joe Hart. But, yeah, look, the two of them, I just think they're both prats, to be honest with you. Leaders of the bingo, leaders of the fancy dress night out, probably leaders of the Congo around the dressing room as well, Jack. Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous, man.
What do you think of Edwardson's comment here, David? He said, had to be Henderson, hasn't a clue where he's at international level, but suddenly becomes a superstar for Liverpool because of the quality around him. I think he means, the moment that the Liverpool squad started to become a bit better, Hendo started becoming a bit better. I would even say, Liverpool fans, they probably used to call him Shito, and now they're calling him Hendo. It really does show, maybe the transformation that, they definitely made there. But I would say, yeah, that is actually a decent point. Henderson was actually, I would say he was a better Harry Winks, for Liverpool in years past. I would say he actually did used to be kind of a Mr. Easy Pass, Henderson, from what I used to watch him. And I would say maybe now that he plays for a bit of a better squad, seems to have improved significantly. But it's also probably that, his attitude and his kind of leadership to a degree is maybe made him more of a fan favorite over there. But I would say in terms of his technical ability and whatnot, I would say maybe not my favorite, but definitely somebody that a lot of Spurs fans definitely do not appreciate and do not like, I would say. And especially Chris saying, I don't hate Henderson, I hate Liverpool, to be frank. To be honest, it's nice to see, actually, the Spurs fans are kind of similar to David here, where Liverpool is actually their real team that they like to see lose, maybe even more than the likes of Chelsea and whatnot, David.
Well, no, not more than Chelsea, West Ham and Arsenal. But look, they're definitely up there. Look, I'd actually put them all as number one, to be honest with you. All of them all equally, equal. Watching them all lose, it's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, all equal for me. Look, the reason why I hate Liverpool is because half of Ireland are Liverpool fans. You know, they all followed them when they had a lot of Irish playing in the 60s and 70s. And, you know, it's been passed around down through generations. And as the generations has been passed down, the fans, Irish Liverpool fans become a bit more idiotic, you know, and a bit more unbearable through each generation, Jack. So, yeah, no, look, I definitely, you know, I revel in Liverpool losing and every bit of bad press they get. And look, I even try my best to create bad press for them because, look, they're just a club. I'll be honest with you. I just can't take to them. Do you know what it is, Jack? They just, with all the VAR, when the VAR came in, you know, it was quite obvious, you know, they needed this great story through the panic. So they, you know, gave Liverpool all the decisions to give them their first fairy tale league in 30 years. And you know what I mean? Everything they could do. You know, you're watching decisions be given to Liverpool that, you know, you're watching in other games and they're not being given, and you're sitting there going, oh, well, that's a bit sus. And then you look at it, Liverpool haven't won the league in 30 years. Oh, you know what's coming. You know what I mean? It's just, it was a big farce. And yeah, I just hate them. And then the Champions League final as well, you know. I just hate everything about them. Then that other guy up front, Mr. Teeth, he does absolutely nothing but show his teeth. That's Mr. Firmino, you know, Jack. And all he does is seem to score against Tottenham. He goes missing in action for the rest of the Premier League season. Tottenham comes round, he scores. I just hate them. I hate them.
You know, David, I actually think the reason why Liverpool, or the reason why Jurgen Klopp even has switched from, you know, from glasses to contacts is actually probably so many times, you know, when Liverpool or when Firmino smiled, he actually probably blinded Klopp. You know, he probably actually, you know, blinded him through his glasses. You know, he caused him, you know, even further cataracts, you know, and that's probably actually why, you know, Jurgen Klopp switched to contacts. If you ask me, you know, probably it's just because Firmino has, you know, bleached the teeth, you know, too many times and is actually causing people a bit of eye damage. Because, you know, when it reflects, you know, the wrong way, David, it actually can be quite blinding. So honestly, I do feel bad for Jurgen Klopp. And I'll say again, anybody that is a Liverpool fan, I would say I don't really understand, you know, why Jurgen Klopp has switched from the goggles to the contacts. He looks weird. It's, you know, most people you would say, David, actually, when they switch from glasses, when they take off their glasses and they switch to contacts, they actually look a lot better. You know, and they actually, you know, and it's a good new look for them. But I would say, funny enough, with Jurgen Klopp, he actually looks a lot worse. I would say with, you know, without the glasses, he looks a bit stranger, and just, yeah, it doesn't look like the same Jurgen from before.
Yeah, no, look, it looks like he's wearing eyeliner. You know what I mean? All the time now. I don't know why he does. He just looks a bit weird. You know,
it looks
since
like he's lost a bit of sleep.
Goggles and he's. Yeah, he does. He looks tired. He looks older. You know, and he looks a bit more feminine as well. I don't understand what's going on. He's losing his, you know, that fierceness that he used to have.
Yeah, definitely. Andy Robertson with the best no-look back heel I've ever seen to the opposite team.
Come on, Milan.
Brahim Diaz here, moving the ball forward. Brahim Diaz, an absolute menace. Oh, could have played that to Ante Rebic.
Unlucky. At least they're getting up the field. I just want one more chance.
If they were to equalize, if they were to make Liverpool drop points, that would be absolutely brilliant. And let us remind you, Liverpool are a part of this. I think they're part of Group B, I believe, David. In Group B, you might say, in the Champions League, are practically the hardest group to predict. You know, it is actually, you know, the biggest teams are in Group B. You might say it's probably the hardest one to make it out of Group B. So any, you know, maybe points dropped for Liverpool is actually probably good news for any of us, I would say.
Yeah, no, definitely, it definitely is. I'd love nothing more. Giroud, that's his bread and butter. That's a good ball in the box. He pinged Gomez. He got up ahead of him. Just couldn't direct it on target. Good ball in by Theo Hernandez. Great ball in. How close was Giroud here? Oh, I mean, he's inches. But yeah, no, look, any points dropped is brilliant. I'd love nothing more to see Liverpool either get knocked out of the Champions League or just even, you know, consolation, give them the Europa League. That'd be absolutely brilliant. Because, you know, seeing them in the Europa League, Jack, it'll bring me back to days where I was growing up, and Liverpool, you know, were one of these Europa League teams.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
David, what do you think? Do you think that was the reason why? It was just Jurgen Klopp, you know, he just kept having his, you know, he had to make too many trips, you know, to the optician, like Chris is saying. Do you think that's what it probably caused, you know, him to maybe switch to the contacts? You know, he's just trying to save a bit of money, you know, maybe just can't maybe afford, you know, the, the Warby Parker, you know, kind of sunglasses anymore?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's about affording the sunglasses. Look, the guy's a millionaire. He's probably being paid more than enough by Liverpool. Look, for me, I think he's ditched him because he's probably got in a new, a new person to give him a makeover, and he probably thinks he looks slick and sexy, with the Sky Sports cameras being on him this year a lot and everything else. And that's probably what he's gone for, the sexy look. His Jurgen Klopp bringing sexy back, but I think fails with you. I think it's a poor move, and whoever's in charge of his wardrobe should be sacked.
Dan Ann saying, I would love to watch United drop out of the Champions League 2 years in a row. This is what I'm talking about, Dan. This is actually what I'm talking about. Despite, Darius and I predicting that Man United would actually sweep their group quite easily in the Champions League, I did say that, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I would not actually rate this season just because of that actually incredible dropout that he had to Julian Nagelsmann's Leipzig last season. It was an absolutely embarrassing dropout that Man United fans and even Man United players themselves seem to have completely forgot about it. I mean, honestly, it was absolutely embarrassing last season, the way that they dropped out of the Champions League group stages. And it seems like everybody's forgotten about it since the Ronaldo signing. And maybe this young boys victory over United is a bit of that reminder of, their Champions League form from last season. And hopefully, they do it 2 years in a row, especially with the investment that they've had, Dan N. If they were to drop out, the Champions League with all the investment that they've had, that would just be unbelievable. I might have to, maybe even become a bit more of a fan of the Swiss, league if they were able to do that. If they were actually able to knock out, the likes of Man United, probably have to actually watch more of that Swiss league. But definitely, Dan, and definitely with you. I do love that comment. And Brian C saying, David, I'm with you 100%. I grew up in the 80s. Loads of pals were Liverpool fans, would drive you mad. Yeah, this is what I would say, Brian C, is I'm not too familiar, with what you and David had to go through. But one of my best friends growing up was also a Liverpool fan. And he was just such a wannabe Scouser, such a wannabe Pool fan. And it was just honestly unbearable, especially when they won the league. I honestly couldn't imagine how many times I heard Verge in a sentence. It was just really unbelievable how many times you would hear Virgil van Dijk is the best defender in the world, and then only to see just a few years later my favorite ever player, Stefan Jovetic, just show him, where the door was in terms of the spin cycle. So all I can say is, Liverpool fans are maybe more and more getting a bit humbled, but I would say if Milan were to get an equalizer here, I would absolutely adore it, because Liverpool fans, them, they absolutely were distraught, seeing their team 2-1 down, and now seeing them go 3-2 up, they're going to be praising themselves, probably yanking themselves for it after this. But Brian C, do let me know. I feel like, it is probably quite torture to be growing up with Liverpool fans. David, any more comments on that?
Yeah, no, look, at least Brian knows the pain I had to go through. At least, I'm not on my own. At least I can confide in Brian with it, anytime, it starts to get me down a little bit. But yeah, no, look, they're just unbearable, and the better they're becoming, the more cocky they're getting, the more unbearable they're getting. Honestly, the more they lose, the more they don't seem to make sense, Jack. At least when they were hanging around 5th and 6th in the table, Europa League, you could talk football with them. Now you can't, and now they're just arrogant, and Divock Origi's better than Harry Kane, and you're just looking at them, you feel like slapping them. So, it's just easier not to engage with them anymore.
Ante Rebic coming off the pitch. Ante Rebic, fantastic display, I will say, at times. Maldini coming on, David. Obviously, the son of the Paolo Maldini, who's in the stands right now at Anfield. I mean, what do you make of this, David? Seeing, what would it be like? I wouldn't know what that would be like to be such a legendary defender and see your son come onto the pitch. I'm not even sure what position his son even plays. It might be a forward, actually, I think, Maldini, because he was coming on for Rebic.
Yeah,
I do believe his son is a forward.
I think he is a forward. I think he's more of a centre attacking midfielder / striker. No, look, it's amazing for Maldini, you know what I mean? Look at the career that guy had, But look, it's good to it's maybe a bit of nostalgia for some of us older men here, Jack. Like when you see the likes of Marcus Thuram playing, he was Lilian Thuram's son. You know what I mean? Starting seeing some of these great players, some of their sons coming through now and playing and all. It just brings back a bit of nostalgia.
No, I know what you mean, David. I do know what you mean in terms of bringing back that nostalgia. And Adam saying, Jack, you should throw your eyes over to the Romanian league. I feel like I've heard this shout out from maybe Adam and maybe others before as well, that the Romanian league is actually something that I should take a look at. I'm not too sure maybe how to access the Romanian league. So anybody, please do DM me about how I could access it, because I would absolutely love maybe to do a small watch along of some kind for some Romanian football, especially because David and I, we do like the dark arts of the game. David and I were big fans of, the dark arts. So if that's what the Romanian league has, then David and I would absolutely love it. Sometimes, you do like a bit more of that naughty football instead of that cleaner football. And that's what maybe the Romanian league hopefully provides, as well as the Turkish league I know provides. So do let me know, Adam. I would love to tune into some Romanian league. I'm just not sure how to access it, but I'd be happy to look at it, especially, the Romanians, all their surnames, kind of like in Ukraine, Adam, in Ukraine, most of their last names or their surnames end with Enko, similar to how like a lot of the Croatians and Serbians names end with Ich. I'm pretty sure a lot of the Romanian names end with Escu. So that is just a bit of a fun fact over there. So lots of Escus maybe to look at in that Romanian league for sure. Adam said, wait, it's 3-2. Well, shit. Yeah, it's been a cracker of a game, Adam.
Oh, no. Oh, Speaking of Romanian leagues, lad, they used to have some good players back in the day. I remember Georgie Hadji, Brian Seal, definitely remember him. Hadji, he was absolutely a baller back in the day. You had Dan Petrescu. He used to play for Chelsea. He was very good. Popescu as well was another one. So they had some absolute ballers back in the day. But I used to love watching Hadji play. His son actually plays with Rangers now, Jack. Enos Hadji. He actually plays with Rangers now, but he was a brilliant player in the day. And he was your man, the proper Hadji. He actually has a soccer school in Romania, and he actually has produced a lot of the talent for the Romanian national team.
Interesting. That is interesting to know. I do know that they have one bright and up and coming talent. I'm forgetting what his name is, but I know there is one very good Romanian young player, I do believe, in their ranks, because there was a game where I think because I know Germany won the under-21s tournament recently, David, but I think even the under-21s tournament before that Germany won was, I think they've won the last two, if I'm mistaken. But the other one, I think Romania actually did play them in one, like the semifinals or the final, like the Romanian like under-23 or under-21 team actually made it quite far. And they played against the German team. So it does show that, like you're saying, maybe Hadji is maybe causing a bit of a Romanian revolution there in terms of their talent. So hopefully we could see a few more Escus join the Premier League and whatnot.
They have Puskas as well, wasn't he? He was playing up front in that under-21 tournament I think you're talking about, Jack.
Maybe that's what I'm talking about. Maybe that is what I'm talking about.
He plays with Redden now. He plays with Redden now, or he did play with them last season. But I think that's who you might be talking about. He had a great campaign for them that season, that European Championships, and so did Hadji. Hadji is absolutely brilliant, and he will be good. Brian C knows exactly what I'm talking about. Big up, Brian C.
Adam saying, I'll see if I can find a way to access it, Jack. I'll DM you if I find out. Definitely, Adam. Really do appreciate it. And as well, please, everybody, do follow me on Instagram. It is flatcapeurotalk on Instagram, in case you want to see, because I know, guys, it's hard, to bounce between apps, especially when you're watching videos, enjoying your content. So in case you want to just, stick on Instagram and just be able to still watch Flatcap Euro Talk, you can find it over on Instagram for any of the videos that I post. They usually do come out at the same time as my YouTube videos. Sometimes even on Instagram, I might even release it before on Instagram. So do just follow me on Instagram. It's a great way to still watch all the Flatcap Euro Talk videos, so you don't have to miss them if you like to stay on Instagram. So Adam, please feel free to message me there. Please feel free to message me there. But he says, Dave, I'm only 19, so please forgive me if I don't know any of these players. Adam, believe me, your knowledge for your age is unbelievable. I will say your knowledge for your name is unbelievable. And Chris saying, Ile Dimitrescu. That's a fantastic name. Dimitrescu as well, David. Another Romanian footballer from my days in the 90s. Anything about him, David? I don't know anything about him.
No, I'll be honest with you. I don't know a lot about either, but that's how you pronounce it, Ile Dimitrescu. I don't know much about him, Chris, to be honest with you. So you may give us a bit more info. I only know the good ones, the real good ones.
This is fantastic, though. This is why I love Flat Cap Hero Talk, Dave. It's just because then, it's the place where, if you need to talk about, Romanian, footballers that nobody knows about, a few like Serbian footballers no one knows about. This is your place. This is absolutely your place for that. Shamu and Kunku has a hat trick for Leipzig. I thought it wasn't going too well. Or no, actually, I mistook it. I actually did mistake it earlier because wait, yeah, actually, aren't Leipzig playing Man City? So what is happening over there, Shamu? Do let me know what's happening over there, because I do believe Leipzig are playing Man City. I thought Man City were 2-0 up earlier. So let me know, Shamu. What kind of parents call their son Allison? Yeah, I'm not too sure, AE. I'm not too sure. I think it is the surname, though. And I will say Allison is quite a handsome goalkeeper at the end of the day. He has a great beard and great hair. As much as I don't like him, he's quite a good-looking guy.
Oh, Jesus, Jack.
What is that?
Man City are beating Leipzig 6-3. City are beating Leipzig 6-3. Yeah, 6-3. PSG and Club Brugge are still 1-1. Porto are trashing Sport and Lisbon 5-1. Haller with 4 goals.
Wow.
And
there will be 5 minutes of extra time here in Anfield. 6-3 Leipzig, or 6-3
Jack,
City
I'm
to
just
Leipzig.
going to move back to
No problem.
I'm just going to move it back to 10:15. So, guys, everybody, for Kaniki Answer Me, we're moving it back to 10:15. If you guys that are here do want to tune in, it's sure to be a very good show with some great questions there this week, and we're joined by Darius as well.
Yeah, everybody. And please, we do really appreciate you for showing up for this Champions League night. We will try to do a bit of the earlier games, maybe for the future, especially maybe ones on Tuesday. We'll try to do maybe for the watch-alongs. It's just because the Outlad, was visiting me yesterday. I had to take the day off. We would have probably liked to have done that Bayern-Barcelona game maybe yesterday, but I will tell you, I was absolutely over the moon watching the Bavarians destroy some Catalonians, especially in Barcelona. Honestly, I was absolutely over the moon watching it. As well. Seeing Thomas Muller after his birthday, bang one in to open it up as well. It really was men against boys, I would say, in terms of Bayern versus Barcelona. So really do, guys, most of the watch-alongs, I will try to maybe move them for Tuesday if there's still a good game there, because we do try to maybe keep Kaniki Answer Me, around the same time on Wednesdays. But again, everybody, there's no other place to go than the Irish Hotspur after this for Kaniki Answer Me. In case you're looking back for some maybe Spurs content, we're going to be talking about all of the good debate questions as always on Kaniki Answer Me. Some of those existential questions about Spurs, some of the crises that we're going under as well. We're going to be breaking it down. Lots of no questions coming up. So please head on over to Kaniki Answer Me at Irish Hotspur. There's no other place to go after this. There is no other place to go.
No, there definitely isn't.
Shamu saying, danke, Thomas Müller. Ja, ich danke dir, Thomas Müller. Ich danke dir für das Performance und die Stellung gestern. Ich war super. And Leipzig's defense must be drunk or something. Yeah, Adam, I'm not kidding. They really are. Like watching the Elsa Bayern play them over the weekend, I included that in my weekend watch list from before the Leipzig Bayern game. It honestly was like Leipzig it just doesn't exist. Their defense, it really doesn't exist. It's actually quite shocking. This is why I do not rate Jesse Marsch, as a coach, because I will say his defensive training is just awful. I will say, like the guy just does not know how to teach a defense over at Leipzig, because as well, David, Leipzig have solid defenders, very solid defenders. I would say they have lots of very talented defenders as well. And it just seems like, he might be just too focused on the attack. I would say Jesse Marsch. So yeah, pretty shocking.
No, it is absolutely trash. The demolition job by Man City. I'm quite surprised at that result, to be honest with you. And look, if they keep shipping goals at that rate, Jack, he's not going to keep his job for too long, is he?
No, he's not. And that's what I said, because, as much as maybe Leipzig have had a absolute amazing rise, I would say, I don't think the Red Bull Sport group will really be able to maybe tolerate this for much longer, Dave. I do think they have high expectations of themselves this season. I think they always want to keep challenging for second or third place in the Bundesliga, if not the title. They'd like to be challenging for. So seeing them really play this kind of way, I do think he's actually going to be on the chopping block quite soon, if you ask me. And probably, I wouldn't say someone that I would have expected to be maybe sacked this season, but seems like he might be one of the first ones to go in terms of the big names, I would say. So everybody, Jesse Marsch, the American, keep your eyes on him. He does seem like he might be out the door quite soon.
Yeah, no, 100%. Be very
Liverpool
interesting,
it up
Jack.
in
Was
the
he
corner
even
here? Sorry, David. Yeah.
Was he on your list to get sacked?
No, he wasn't. You know, I believe my list was Marcelino, Petr Bosz from Olympique Lyon, obviously Newcastle manager Steve Bruce. I think Ralph Hasenhüttl was actually in there too, David, as someone who could get fired, just because that one was like, I figured Ralph Hasenhüttl probably wants to leave Southampton. At the same time, I think he's actually better than Southampton. I think I do rate him as a coach. And I think there's one other who I am missing as well, but definitely, guys, I would say, you know, Jesse Marsch is, you know, someone I did not have on my radar as someone to be sacked this season. Oh, the other one I actually had was Luciano Spalletti, David. So that was the Napoli manager, who's formerly an Inter manager. I actually thought he might fall, but seems like Napoli have actually not. They're doing quite well so far this season. So seems like Spalletti will be keeping his job, and maybe instead of Spalletti, I should have gone with Jesse Marsch.
Interesting.
Brahim Diaz maybe the last shot of the match, and it seems like Liverpool have won it. So everybody, it seems like that might be the last kick of the match probably here, and it was absolutely. So everybody, we do appreciate you. We do appreciate all the support that you've given in this watch along. Please check us on over at Kinnicky Ansme at the Irish Hotspur later. There's no other place to go. Just maybe grab a bite to eat, grab a drink, whatever it may be. I know David and I are going to do that. We'll be on over at the Irish Hotspur later. So please check out Kinnicky Ansme, where I will be hosting, you know, giving David, you know, the tough hitting, hard hitting questions with Darius, especially when he's going to be lining up alongside Darius. You know, it's a very hard guy to sit next to. He's a very intelligent guy. So, you know, David's going to have to bring his A game for that one. But everybody, really do appreciate it. Really do appreciate the support. All the Harris Army, all the Flat Cap Army. I know David probably has few more words for this, but if anybody has enjoyed this, please drop that subscribe. Please drop that like down below. Really do appreciate it. It's only going to get better from here in terms of the live streams, in terms of our live shows. So really do appreciate the support as always. So Flat Cap Army and Harris Army.
No, look, absolutely brilliant. I'm over the moon. You know, people coming over, you know, from the Irish Hotspur and really throwing their support behind whatever they can behind this channel. I really appreciate it. Look, there's a lot of good comments here saying people really enjoyed the stream and that. So that's good. We're definitely doing something right. So look, I just want to say I really do appreciate every single one of you guys. Absolutely brilliant. Look, the support doesn't go unnoticed. And thank you so much. And look, you know, we'll see you shortly on Kinnicky Ansme, 10:15, guys. So it's starting in about 20 minutes time. So hope to see you all there. But honestly, up the Flat Cap Army, big yourselves up. I'm absolutely delighted.
Up the Flat Cap Army, up the Harris Army, up the David Army, all the armies that we've created here. They're absolutely all legends. Thank you so much for joining us. Dave and I will be seeing you over at the Kinnicky Ansme show later on the Irish Hotspur. But that'll be all for now. There will be more live shows, more watch-alongs, more content, of course, from Flat Cap Euro Talk. It's only going to be amped up from here, everybody. It's only going to get more amped up. We do appreciate you as always. And David and I will be seeing you.